It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
I don't really want to care why. Just get on with
You
it.
shut your damn mouth, sir.
Oh, I'm not going to shut my mouth.
Take the fire hydrant and bash her head in like they did on that flight that crashed in Shanksville just when the terrorists took over.
Yes. That was a long way to get there. That was almost Lord of the Rings place right there.
A little bit. And it's an extinguisher, not a fire hydrant.
And now, here they are.
Why would they shut down this library?
The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
It's Monday. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Eric Zane. You can join us toll free, 1-800-947-3979. You can email freebeerandhotwings at hotmail.com. Flashback. That about 20 minutes. It includes times where people got themselves in trouble by showing off. Hey, look what I can do. Yeah, that kind of thing. All right. Get to that coming up a little bit later on. This weekend, great example of what, my wife and I have been married a while now.
Yeah.
And we have a lot in common. Mm-hmm. But there are some things we have not even remotely in common.
Okay.
Where we couldn't be on a more divergent path from each other than this. Example, she was looking forward to and went to a sweat lodge this weekend.
Is that like you like play basketball and do other big exercise?
No, there's not necessarily exercise.
Sounds pretty
involved.
cool.
It's old school Indian sweat lodge kind of stuff.
What is
Where?
a sweat
What's
lodge?
a sweat? I've never heard of a sweat lodge.
They make a small
I've heard sweat hogs.
building. Joe, have you heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard it's insane.
What do you mean?
I heard people start hallucinating.
She didn't mention any
Seeing crazy
hallucinations,
things.
but I can see why you would from her description.
Where the sweat lodges nearby? Are they like all over the place, or are they hard to find?
She drove like a half hour.
To the sweat lodge.
Yeah.
Is it called sweat lodge?
No, it's at a woman's house, which makes me skeptical.
So it's like Ethel's Sweat Lodge.
I think it was. Have you heard of it? You've heard of it.
I've been
Ethel's
there
Sweat Lodge.
many times.
I thought you had to go to,
Technically, the full name is Ethel's Sweat Lodge and Pancakes.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you check in, you start sweating?
It goes there, and this was a women's sweat lodge, so I guess it probably had a topless pillow fight at some point. But they went there, and they all brought a dish to pass, and then they got to know each other's life stories, which already I would want to hang myself.
This sounds like the most terrible adventure ever.
Or best.
And then after a while, they helped to gather the wood, so she had to do work. And then the lady builds the fire, and there's a bunch of stones down because you're not sitting next to fire.
Wait,
the stones are heated.
Before we continue this, we have to play this the song "Gonna Make You Sweat" by CNC Music Factory. Did they start playing this and rip off their clothes and start to kiss?
I know that she mentioned that this played when they introduced the starting lineup for the sweat lodge. So they superheat these stones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess they're just like field stones. I guess.
Okay.
And then they put them in the lodge, and then there's a fire that continues to heat them. I don't understand the exact mechanics of how the heat is transferred, but
the terminology lodge, all I think of when I think of lodge is like St. Bernard's running around and skis and
stone fireplace,
drink some
cup of hot chocolate.
Yeah,
that sounds dreamy compared to what I have in my mind.
Wear some
in my
North
mind,
Face.
It's an ice shanty, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that type. Okay, so it's a one-room deal. That's right.
Yeah. And so everybody crowds in there.
How many people do you think was there?
I think she said there was about 10 or 12.
10 or 12 Sweat Lodge fans.
Yep, fans. And they go in there, and I said, well, how long were you in there? I don't know. You don't have any idea? Nope. Well, that sounds awful. Unless it was so quick you didn't even have time to look at your watch. But go in there. You normally go for 3 sessions, she told me.
Bet it smells good in there.
She said it felt like you were sitting under a sprinkler. You're sweating so much.
Smell.
So much water pouring out. So what are you doing there? I go, do you talk? Nope. You just sit there. Yes. And she said every once in a while you hear the lady ladle more water onto the stones, which causes immediate steam, obviously.
Yeah.
What if someone like farts?
Well, I guess it would be a very juicy one.
Yep.
Oh.
Just
It would immediately
Guessing.
extinguish and just hit the floor.
especially since my wife brought that German potato salad. That's not going to help.
sorry.
Baked beans.
Sneak cheek. Oh, no. Shucks.
But so I said, I go, so this was fun? And she goes, no, it was awful. And I said, oh, so you're not going to do it again? No, I am. I went, wow, we are so different. If it was kind of bad, I wouldn't do it again. You know,
If it was anything less than great, I
if
wouldn't do it again.
wasn't awesome, I wouldn't do it again.
So is it the whole weekend? Part of the weekend?
It was the Sweat Lodge was on Saturday afternoon from like 2 in the afternoon was when she had to be there.
Yeah.
Until it was supposed to get over around 10 or 10:30, and then she slept in a camper that night because she didn't want to drive back. They didn't get done until like 11:30.
Like a stranger's camper or a person she knows? Or
A stranger's camper.
no kidding. Like
Yeah.
a person she met there?
Well, a Sweat Lodge lady. Sweat Lodge.
A Sweat Lodge lady had a camp.
Sweat Lodge Ethel
facilities.
will rent you the camper
Okay.
for additional cash.
I picture Kathy Bates in Misery for some
Yeah.
reason.
Me too,
Is the
actually.
lady that owns this joint.
You know, what's funny is that's kind of the image I have because when my wife described her age and her approximate look, that was very similar to what because she said it was around 50. You know, kind of a bigger lady.
Is this like the type of place where, like, in one of the Poltergeist movies that nobody saw, they got together around the fire and the Native American guy, they got all really hot and they smoked some peyote, and then they looked into the fire and they saw where Carol Ann was? You know what I'm talking about?
Nobody saw that movie.
I think the lodge is similar to what you're talking about. And I don't think they were doing
It's
any
a Native
peyote.
American thing.
It's traditions certainly come from there.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Did she do a rain dance or anything like that?
I
Or
don't think she did a rain dance. She did open a casino when she got home. So
was there
I
a
don't know if
squad?
that-
Was there like a
I don't know
hot
if that's
squad
connected.
daisy chain?
She knows how to play 7-card stud now. But yeah, I'm like, wow, that. If you ever want to go, and I'm nope, no, I don't. Yeah, I think you'd have fun. No, I wouldn't. It sounds awful.
Yeah, she said she didn't have fun.
She said it was very invigorating. Said,
You know
when?
what?
When you were
I
done?
don't think a sweat lodge is intended to be fun. Like, yeah, I think it's more like it's a spiritual awakening. Hot
Yeah.
Wings. It's to maybe to reflect.
Yeah, but if
It's not supposed to be like Cedar Point.
if any description uses the word "it was awful,"
Yes.
well,
that-
maybe that is.
that doesn't sound like a spiritual awakening to me. Awful sounds awful.
well, now she
I don't-
can speak Ojibwe though.
That's true. I don't want to go to anything where the person running it, Sweat Lodge Ethel, is going to say something before you climb into said sweat lodge like this. You're probably going to feel like your heart's going to pound out of your chest, and you're going to have to concentrate to breathe. No, thank you. Those are two things I don't prefer. Concentrating on breathing and worrying that my heart is going to pound out of my chest.
I can save her time and money. Anytime she wants, she can come and get into my attic.
We have an attic, Hot Wings.
Well, if she wants to feel like she's getting away, she can drive 20 minutes.
I could just take her to the grocery store and lock her in the car when it's really hot outside.
yeah.
It's very sweat
You
lodge.
give her a rock to hang on to or something. I mean,
do that.
Did she feel better afterwards though? I mean, though it may not have been something that she reported to be favorable, did she say, well, you know what, though, I feel better now. I feel, because that's what they say here, according to this document I'm looking on the internet. They say it was used, they're supposed to feel cleansed afterward.
I think she
afterwards.
did. I think she did.
Okay.
And I think she just enjoyed
Talk
it.
about your love making after. How was it?
Non-existent.
well, she was spent.
Yeah.
She had no more energy. It zapped her.
She had just been cleansed of all that. Why did she want to have any part of that again? Yeah. That's why she went to the sweat lodge.
Now I gotta go back. Oh, it's on me. Oh, God damn it. I just got rid of all this.
I'd have to burn it off
filthy
again.
Man. I didn't come here for glaze. I didn't spend all that money to get reglazed.
It is like a kiln for pottery.
There you go.
That doesn't seem fun at
Were
all.
there any men there? Or just
No, it's all women.
Oh, that's what you said. It was an all-woman
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Is
So they
there- is
apparently
there a
have
co-ed?
they have men's
Oh.
weekends too.
Just men.
So
They
I
gotta
thought-
have men and women. Did you know that turns into a crazy Indian orgy? You know what I'm talking about.
I want Joe to dress like a lady and try to go to the women's one.
Now, are they? You might have said, pardon me, Hot Wings. Were they butt naked?
I didn't ask.
Oh, that's the first question I
And
would have
the funny
asked.
thing is, it never crossed my mind until I started talking about it this morning, and in this segment, and I was like, I wonder what they were wearing.
Oh man.
I can't imagine they were. That's not my wife's style. Go get nude with a bunch of old granolas. But maybe she just doesn't tell me because she knows that I would go, what the hell's wrong with you? But I don't think that's the case. No, she's not big. She doesn't like going to the gym and seeing all the nude ladies prance around with their boobs hanging out.
That sucks, I'm sure.
By the way, speaking of that, I played racquetball on Saturday, and when I went back into the locker room afterwards,
Oh boy.
while I was there,
Of course.
I changed shoes, put on dry socks, 'cause I had sweated through the ones I had on, changed shirts, 2 layers of shirts, got all of my stuff out of the locker, loaded into a bag, and the mad man who was sitting nude on the bench when I walked in had not moved from his nude pose and was sitting in the same way, rubbing his bare butt into the wooden bench seats. Just the same when I left as he was when I came in. And I thought, what could you... You're just sitting there nude. You're not even doing anything.
That's the thing.
You can't sit nude.
No.
That, especially in that setting, about the amount of time that I'm actually naked is the time it takes to put on the next article of clothing. Probably 5 seconds maximum at the gym. And there's always a minimum of 5 old ball sack to the ground dudes standing around the joint, shaving, completely stark naked. Oh my gosh, leaning up against the counter with their junk actually smashed up against the front of the counter.
I don't get that in any way. I mean, I'm the type
I've
of a
had
person
it.
where if I have to change in a situation like that, my underwear is halfway up my legs before the towel falls off.
Right, completely.
I don't get that. I don't understand why you just prance around and then sit down. You sit nude with your bare buttocks.
The worst is the vinyl or the cloth seats right in front of the TV where these slobs sit there and watch old ass episodes of Bonanza and Gunsmoke. There's one dude named Dave, nice enough guy, and he CNN was on or ESPN or something current was on, and old Dave sits his ass down there naked and turns on Bonanza, whatever one had Lorne Green in it. One of those old ass shows from like the 40s, 50s. I don't know.
I think that was Bonanza.
Oh my God! And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the TV and I see Dave and I go, "What, Dave? This wasn't exciting enough 60 years ago. You had to put it on again." Because I know him well enough, I can say that to him. I go, "What, Dave? Wasn't it as exciting then? You had to see it again for the first time."
And you couldn't wait till you had pants on to see it?
Unbelievable.
Who sits around nude at the gym and watches Bonanza? That's really
I
insane.
don't know. I mean, that's like a Joe stunt, except these guys do it because they think it's fun.
It is like a Joe stunt.
It's ridiculous. If I owned a gym, I would have a giant sign that said, like, 10-second nudity maximum.
Producer Joe's Be Nude at the Gym Too Long challenge.
Except I would blend in because there's always like 8 of those guys there.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
I would not like it.
Yeah,
though.
but you wouldn't like it.
I would definitely not like it. It wouldn't be awkward.
That would be
for
that
me.
would be more for to hear how uncomfortable it was for you.
People sit in the sauna naked too.
Well, I think you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Really?
Otherwise it'll
I think
sweat.
so.
Yeah, but you should still wear a towel. I'm sorry.
My wife
Yeah,
wears-
that's what I.
my wife
Wrap
wears a
a
towel, and she said that there's always she loves these sweaty things. I guess is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well,
But there's always some woman who walks in
yeah, I don't get that,
all
man.
dangly and hairy.
You should turn the heat up to about 100 in your house.
I should.
Maybe she'll dig it. And she won't have to go to Aunt Stella's Sweat Emporium or whatever the F it is.
I know. That's what I couldn't resist. I said, so how much does Sweat Lodge cost at Strange Lady's house in the middle of nowhere? And it wasn't as bad as I expected, though it's still expensive.
Was it more than they pay you to be there?
That's what I would need. How much did they pay you to come to the Sweat Lodge?
Right, I would have to be paid to do that.
When did you find out about Sweat Lodge?
That she was going?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Plenty of time before. It wasn't like an hour, like 10 minutes before. Oh, by the way, I'm going to the Sweat Lodge.
No, I knew she was going for the weekend.
Oh,
Or
okay.
for the for the day on Saturday, and that she might stay overnight. So, but yeah, $50 to go and sweat, $45 to rent the camper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't get the camper with the sweat? Seems like it should be a package deal.
What does the woman do with all the sweat? Does she collect the squeegenes and make her own soup and they eat it at the end of the day?
I don't think there's a unique draining system for the sweat. I think it just probably
Oh,
stays
you don't
in
just sit there on like a grate and there's like
No.
a collection pool.
I'll bet there is.
I don't think
one.
the sweat lodge has gutter helmet and it drips it all into a pan.
I bet they do.
She adds oats and they eat sweat meal.
Yuck.
Sweat gruel.
That's awful.
eat your sweat gruel.
That's awful.
Tastes like feet.
And highly likely.
It's a little salty.
1-800-947-3979. You can email freebeerandhotwings@hotmail.com. The flashback in just a few minutes. You got in trouble showing off. That's what that's all about. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Visit homedepot.com/tax credit or see tax advisor for details.
97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. Fairly cool start. I think it's the mid-40s. Is that pretty close?
Oh, I think it's even colder than that.
Is it?
Frost, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they got the freeze warning
Frost
going on
on
to the
top of
north.
my truck.
The Red Wings up 1-0 in the Western Conference Finals. Oh, what a difference in the style of play. With the Wings playing the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Anaheim Ducks in the last series.
Mm-hmm.
The Ducks, so much more physical than Chicago.
Yeah. Wings got so many more good looks at the net.
Right
even
on.
though Javi Bulin was
Yeah, it would have
still
been
very good.
It would have been 10-2 if it wasn't for Javi Bulin.
Yeah, he made some pretty impressive saves.
Yep.
But they get the win in that series. The
In the game.
Blackhawks are in that game. Yeah, first game of that series. Blackhawks left shaking their heads a little bit. Pretty nice. Dan Cleary, how about him, man?
Oh my
Was
gosh.
he plus 12 in the playoffs
Well,
or
yeah,
something?
you know,
Something
you
like
look
that.
at a guy like you look at Dan Cleary. I mean, he's been terrific, picking up the slack for the Datsuk's struggling, Hosa's struggling,
Yeah.
Holmstrom struggling. Well, what the hell? It doesn't matter. They're still winning.
That's your top line, and they
Yeah.
haven't scored a goal between them.
Right.
In the last, Well, Hossa had a couple, I think, in one game of the
Sure
last
he
series.
did, but still, it's impressive.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Damn it! What are we gonna do tonight?
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Do we have any pride?
Flashback today.
It's not even close to being open. I had too much fun talking about your lunch free beer that I had completely again. Is it 2 weeks in a row now? At least one day, I have neglected to prepare ourselves for the next segment.
When you remembered to open it, was it when I said the flashback
Yeah.
today? There wasn't a moment before that where.
Well, it's amazing because this conversation starts last break, and we dove right into it. And I found it very interesting. I had no idea that such a thing even existed in the first place. So to say that it was because I was just not wanting to open the flashback or not into it or whatever would be a lie. I was actually interested in the Sweat Lodge content.
So on days when the flashback is open, that means Hot Wings and I snooze
No,
fest.
that means I
Yeah,
actually
nothing.
prepared. Yeah, right. It didn't come out right.
Well, you guys were so boring. I had the flashback open in the first 2 minutes of the show.
For once, I was actually interested in something and actually forgot
Well,
to
that's
do
good.
what I
You
do
know
every day.
I
know, it
opened the
sounded
whole
that way,
week's
but
worth
that's
of
not what-
flashbacks.
That's not what I intended. You're both terribly rude.
The flashback today. How did you get into trouble when you were showing off? So, guys, anytime you're flying, you want the pilot to be calm. You don't want to see him walk out of the bar when you're.
Not usually, no.
You don't want a pilot who's showing off on a passenger flight.
Like a commercial airline? It was
Commercial
a
airline.
passenger or a pilot showing off.
Yep, it was an Airbus A320, which I think is a pretty big plane, right?
Anything with Airbus, yes.
Yeah.
I would say that is one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Carrying 143 passengers from Paris to Manchester in England on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
The
Paris,
pilot-
France to Manchester, England. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and that's 100% right.
Yep. And the pilot, I said he was showing off for his own child. He didn't have his own child. But you know how before 9/11, occasionally they would bring kids up. When I was a kid, the first time I flew, I wasn't a kid. I was
Yeah.
17, I got to go up to the
Sure.
cockpit and look out.
That was like,
Pretty
Billy,
cool.
you ever see a grown man naked?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
You ever been in a Turkish prison?
Well, apparently on an Air France flight, it's still cool.
Really?
So
They'll
it
let
is?
so they'll let kids go up there, huh? Give them some wings or whatever.
Apparently so, yeah.
What if his
So-
name is like Assad and he has plastique strapped to him?
Doesn't say in this article, but maybe if I did a little research, I could find out.
Perhaps.
So they take this kid up there, and the pilot, according to all of the people on the plane and other observers who were near the cockpit, said that the pilot started to show off. When he was demonstrating, hey, these are the controls, this is how I steer the plane, rather than pointing at it, he decided to accentuate how they work by jamming it to the left and then quickly back to the right.
What the hell?
You do a barrel roll? Please tell me you did a barrel
Yeah,
roll.
barrel
loop de loop.
I wonder if a commercial jet can on its own without, unless it happens accidentally because of turbulence or whatever, like do a barrel roll.
I bet they can.
I would think that they would be able to withstand that, but
Yuck.
oh,
Well, in screwing around with the plane, he got just enough off path that he put himself in the pathway of another flight
Oh,
and had to take immediate evasive actions, pulling back on the controls and climbing quickly to by a distance of 10,000 feet.
whoa!
So they took an immediate climb 10,000 feet to get out of the way of other flights.
I'm sure it's real good on the
No.
systems of that plane.
It doesn't say the degree to which they were climbing, but when you take off, I think you're at like 15 degrees or something, and it feels like you're going straight up.
I know it does.
Well,
Imagine an immediate climb of 10,000 feet.
No,
and it
I
felt
don't
like
want
you
to.
were in a rocket ship.
Yeah,
It said
'cause-
people were audibly praying out loud on the flight.
Well, yeah, there's a big difference between regular climb, even a regular steep climb, because sometimes you take off and you go, well, that was a real, that we took off quick on that one. But there's a big difference between that and evasive. When you're evasively climbing, that's got to be feeling straight up.
Passengers heard emergency alarms coming from the cockpit.
Oh, my God. What a dumbass.
It says the crew members sitting in front of one guest says the crew members sitting in front of me had terror written across their faces, and they were gripping chairs.
And the kid's sitting there. He's sitting there, and then this pilot goes, "Hey, Billy, watch this." And he goes, left, right. Oh, boy. And then he realizes he sees a plane coming right at him. Traffic control squawking in his ear, "Get up! Get out of the way!" And he just jams the thing back. Straight up.
Bystanders on the plane said that they think the pilot did know the young boy and that it was against policy to take the child in there. And that people actually heard air traffic control come on the radio and say, quote, climb, 10,000 feet. You are going to hit a plane.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. I would so punch that pilot on the way off the plane. I wouldn't care if I got arrested. I mean, I really wouldn't.
That's for sure.
He's there with his stupid fake captain outfit.
1-800-947-3979. How you tried to show off and it didn't work out for you. Before we get to those calls, John is a pilot. Hi, John.
Hey, how are you guys?
Not bad.
Good.
Can commercial airliners do a barrel roll?
It depends on what airplane it is, but typically no, and it's obviously not something that they're designed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends. Actually, the 707 was a real early Boeing airplane, and they actually, when they designed that airplane, one of the test pilots actually barrel rolled it and then got fired from the company.
Oh. How about a loop-de-loop?
Pilot.
I would say probably not. It would take a lot of thrust to actually pull it over the top of a loop. So.
Oh my
Sweet.
God! Could you imagine trying though?
And I was listening yesterday to the show as well, and I just want to say real quickly that you guys were talking about the jump seat. That's actually not one of the fold-down seats that the flight attendants sit in.
No,
the
it's not.
reason that they couldn't let the guy sit in the jump seat is because the jump seat's actually in the cockpit, and you can't have civilians up there. So.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay,
still, they made him sit in the
Wow.
toilet.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, what's
isn't
your
it
take
more
on that?
inappropriate to have the civilian sit in the toilet than the jump seat?
Well, I kind of looked it up in the regs, and you actually can't sit anybody in the toilet because any of the passengers have to be seated on a seat,
Yeah.
which has a
seatbelt.
A seatbelt. So.
And the thing is, he had one. It's just, and she was supposed to sit in the cockpit, but she didn't want to, I guess, or they didn't want her up there because she hadn't, cleaned herself
Right.
lately or something.
Yeah. Now, what would you, if you were the pilot, would you have said to the stewardess, "Shut up and sit your ass down"?
Yeah.
She shouldn't have offered if.
That
Yeah.
guy should have known that he was going to, I'm sure he's going to lose his job for that. So
Okay.
Probably.
Do you know any stewardesses that are dudes?
I don't know any personally,
stewards?
but I have been on a couple of flights that had them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so have I. Have you ever got the impression that any of them might be gay?
They're all lighting their loafers, dude.
The bigger question: have you ever gotten the impression that any of them might be straight?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's amazing. I would guess that it has a 100% hit ratio.
I would agree to that.
I was
Seems
on,
like it.
I was on
Thank you,
one
John.
flight where there was a guy flight attendant where I thought he was straight, and that's because he appeared to be 60 years old.
Yeah,
And it was like
me
he had
too.
retired from some regular job, like at Boeing or something, and thought, well, this will be a good way for me to get free airline tickets.
And another thing that's a problem, well, that isn't a problem at all. The problem, the bigger issue is the fact that there are no more attractive stewardesses.
No.
No, I mean, you
The
see all the
industry-
old film footage and stuff. When it was a big holiday, it was a big treat for people to travel.
You dress up.
You dressed up. You dressed the part. It was almost like you look at old footage of people going to baseball games or anything. Everybody always dressed the part, and the stewardesses had to look the part too.
Now,
They were all
it's-
hot.
They had
It's
nice
not like-
gams. They
it's
wore
not
those
like
nice
Catch Me-
hats.
Not
Yeah.
like Catch Me If You Can anymore.
No.
That movie, Frank Abagnale, I think it was the character's
Yeah.
name, and he, with all the hot stewardesses now, they're so haggard.
No, they
I
really
cannot believe how beat up they are.
They really should go trolling
Yeah.
colleges for a new crop. I mean,
Yeah.
because you get some that are okay, that are, acceptable. But, like, if you fly overseas, you'll get some on those where you go, now, damn,
Exactly.
those are good-looking
I
chicks.
don't wanna
Like,
see-
they're not all hung up on this equal rights stuff, It's like once you
Exactly.
get ugly, they kick you off and maybe
Yep,
you have a different
and they
job.
should. They should. Like my
Yeah.
favorite basketball team goes for the young athletes. They don't get some beat up old troll.
Mhm.
And I am sick and tired of going on a plane and seeing some mom, some grandmother saunter around. Her ass is so fat that even when I'm sitting up tight and I'm on the aisle, she still bumps into my shoulder. Stop bumping into me. If you were thinner, you wouldn't have that problem, but that's impossible because you're 68.
Or if you were hotter, I wouldn't care.
Right.
Exactly.
So, it's a one easy remedy.
We'll get to we're going to get to a couple of calls from people that were showing off and it didn't work out, sort of like this pilot who's no doubt going to get fired for this.
Okay.
Let's start with Dan in New Jersey. How are you showing off, Dan?
Hey guys, Kabooby.
Kabooby.
It was more of a childhood thing. It wasn't when I was an adult and smarter.
Okay.
But I was showing off these new spectacular futuristic glasses that I thought were flexi glasses. The plastic bendable ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine weren't. And when I went to show them this group of about 15 people, all these brand new glasses, I snapped them clear in half.
Your parents smashed your face in, didn't they?
That's the look on my face
Yeah.
when I got home. I told my parents that I got punched in the face.
And back then, glasses were the thing that weren't really proportionate with the economy.
No.
So, like nowadays, you could get a pair of glasses and probably save a bunch of money. But back then, that pair of glasses, even though they weren't even the flexi kind, cost your parents $11,000 probably.
It's my impression that glasses are cheaper today than they were when I was a kid.
It felt like it after they were beating my butt.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet. I
Probably
bet.
Punched
Thank you,
you
Dan.
right in the face.
No, they did.
Straighten your eyes out.
This is Brad in Pennsylvania listening on the bone. Hi, Brad.
What's up?
Hey.
Not much.
I was actually riding dirt bikes with my friend, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of whoops. You're supposed to skim across the top.
Yes.
And the seat came up and hit me in the back and flung me off my dirt bike. And I actually broke my back and neck.
You
Oh,
broke
you
your back
did?
and neck showing off?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my
Now-
gosh. I can't believe that. And did you actually shout out, hey, watch me?
Yeah, because we were all riding. I was doing it perfect, and we were doing it all day, so I just got tired, wasn't standing up enough, and it flung me 10 feet in the air.
Oh, my God.
God, man.
That's terrible.
Now, a broken back and
Yeah.
a broken neck.
Yeah.
Now, great danger because if now you're not paralyzed now.
No, but
Okay, but
I actually got up and thought I was all right. Just
Oh,
collapsed.
amazing that
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't suffer spinal cord damage. Can you imagine? That would have been it.
Especially
Yeah.
with trying to stand up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man, you got lucky, Brad.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I never thought I'd say to someone who broke their back and their neck while showing off, wow, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Melissa joins us. Hi, Melissa.
Hi there.
How were you showing off, and how did it fail?
Well, I was actually working at a bar and trying to impress one of the guys that worked there, and you know how girls will get up on the hood of a car and kind of be all sexy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I tried to do that and put a dent in the top of the car, and it was my mom's car.
Ooh. Did you have a big fat ass at the time?
No, I had a nice ass at the time.
Yeah.
A little fatter now.
Yeah, how's it now?
Not so much.
That's okay. You know, we all get fat. That's all right. It still works the same.
But, yeah, so there you are. You're trying to show off, and then...
Yeah, luckily, though, it was cool enough that we're going to get married in December, and it'll be all good then.
It worked. Well done.
There you go.
Let the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks.
You hear this whoop. There's a nice crease in there.
Yeah, they don't make hoods quite like they used to.
I know it.
You know, it's not like old Detroit iron where you see,
Yeah.
you know, the Duke boys sliding across the hood and a million times and
absolutely.
it's fine. I mean, you literally, like when we were kids, hell, you'd like watch fireworks or something from the hood. You just climb up there and sit and lay across the windshield.
Yeah.
You know, use it like a chair.
Well,
but
is
now,
is there
well, a lot
less steel or thinner steel?
a lot of them
or
are
is
made
it...
out of aluminum.
Really?
And if not,
It'd
yeah,
be
a lot
really
of it's
heavy
just
otherwise.
thinner.
Okay.
Because they can make it stronger now.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Justin in Illinois. Hi, Justin.
Hey, how are you, Kabooby?
Kabooby. What did you do?
Oh, well, I was, 12, 13 years old, and we were at the swimming pool, and I started dating this girl for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to impress her, so I was diving off the diving board, and I was trying to do like a reverse cannonball, and I hit my nose with my knee and broke it right there in the pool in front of her.
That's the worst because
gosh.
No, that's not even the worst.
It's not the worst.
Okay. All right.
So I swam to the side, and needless to make a long story short, I had to go to the hospital. My nose is broke. It's bleeding. The doctor can't get it to stop. So in order to get it to stop, he has to stick this plastic thing with foam around it, basically like a tampon up my nose. And I had a string taped to my ear. And then so when everybody came and saw me at the house, my girlfriend, not only did I break my nose, I have a tampon stuffed in my face.
Oh, yeah. You became a woman the next week.
Yeah,
That's what you
I'm a
did.
straight guy that could wear a tampon.
Holy cow. And that had to have been an awful feeling because you felt the pain. You saw the flash when you broke your nose. And then you're in the pool and all the other kids, because blood always looks so bad in water. It's all suspended and it makes that cloud look to it, and it's following you as you flail over to the side.
Oh.
Disgusting.
Not to mention shots in the nose really hurt.
Oh.
Your eyes start to tear up. Even if you're not crying, you're still going to tear up a little bit.
You see
it's
that
such
flash.
A flash, yeah.
It was bad.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep, thank you.
1-800-947-3979.
A tampon on his nose.
You can email freebeerandhotwings@hotmail.com. This is Drew. Hi, Drew.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad.
Good. So, like two or 3 years ago, when I was in high school, I decided to, I was in Indiana for this jazz convention, and decided to jump on stage with this group. They were taking classes for this, or students for this clinic, and they're like, yeah, so who wants to come up here and play with this amazing jazz orchestra group? And there's like 500 people at this convention, and they're all doctorates. They're all professors, and they're all, watch me and stuff. And I don't even play piano. Like, I'm a good piano player, but I've never taken like lessons or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought I was like the next
Billy
Joel.
You just know how to plunk around and play like chopsticks.
So
and
you
heart
get up
and soul.
there, get up there and think you're going to Elton John on everyone. And
Oh yeah. So I thought it was pretty sweet, and they go up, so they're like, "What do you want to play?" And they asked me, and I'm like, I picked like the most basic jazz piece that I know of, and I don't even know it really. I mean, I know the chord changes, but I didn't know how to play them.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up there.
What possessed you? This is a terrible plan.
I'm actually a really good piano player. I played for the Hilton for a couple of years, and actually, this past Christmas, you guys came to my. I was your bartender.
Yeah.
At your little event there. So, but no.
Okay, so you're Murph from Murph and the Magic Tones.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I got up there and they're like, hey, so what do you want to play? I started playing this B flat blues dealie.
Okay.
I didn't actually play it. I just played B flat, the chord, and afterward, like my teachers were laughing at the entire time.
Okay.
Laughing.
So you're hitting wrong notes and you're bouncing all around.
Well, makes it worse is this Asian lady who's the piano player for their group, who's like freaking amazing at the piano, is like coming up and trying to talk me through it. I could not understand a damn word, and I started laughing. And I get off, and I got a nickname, just B flat, for like the rest of high school. And
it'd be one thing if you did that in front of like people that don't really know music. You could kind of blend in and hide. But when you do it in front of everyone who's there to mute. All right, Drew. Thank you, brother. 1-800-947-3979.
I did this once, man. I was at I was working at that radio station in northern Michigan, or I guess it wouldn't be northern Michigan, in Saginaw, at the same station as the Joe and the Poor Boy show. And I had to host this crazy rockathon at some concert venue. We're all local acts. So everybody comes up stage, plays their 4 or 5 songs, and then I'm like the MC, and I come up in between acts and say, all right, that was Screaming Harlot. Next is Allies. Yeah! And then dudes come up on stage, and they play hairband songs, stuff like that. This is like 94. And there was this one guy who was a guitarist, and I think his name was Jim Pagel, but I'm not for sure. And he jammed. And I'm there with, like, friends from out of town who I'm acting like it's really cool, the job I have. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm totally running this show. I'm like Mr. Local Music entrepreneur DJ guy.
Yeah.
I know what time it is. I'm happening. And I'm, acting real cool and stuff. And they, of course, know better. And then it was confirmed to everyone when I said to my friends, I go, hey, man, I got to go on stage because Pagel's done, and I got to go introduce the next band. Watch me. And the guy's finishing his song, and I go sprinting up the side stage, and I grab the mic because he doesn't sing, he just jams.
Okay.
And so it's like no music or no singing whatsoever, and he's like off the stage, and he's finishing up, and I know he's done. And I go up and I grab the mic, I go, Jim Pagel, yeah! All right, Z93, I'm Eric Zane. Look at me, rock guy, yeah, Jim Pagel, let's hear it.
Yeah.
And he comes walking over, and he's jamming, and he looks at me kind of strange, and he leans in the mic, he goes, I'm not done with my set. Oh. He had one more song to do. He goes, I'm not done. Everybody's looking at me like I'm some kind of a-hole. Oh, dude.
Everyone there knew but you.
My acid wash jeans never moved so fast. Oh, it was lucky I had my pants pegged and the tongue sticking out of my high tops so I could run extra fast, and my big fat wide laces.
It's true, man. It's awkward. If you're going now, I'd be right there. 1-800-947-3979. In the next segment, I remember the linebacker James Harrison from the Pittsburgh Steelers made that great defensive play with that I think it was a 100-yard return or a 99-yard return right before the halftime of the Super Bowl against the Arizona Cardinals.
He was real tired after. I remember him sucking oxygen for like half an hour.
Turns out he might not be the brightest guy. Well,
what?
An example of why.
What's the matter?
I'll tell you why he doesn't want to go to the White House. Champions of the various sports always go to the White House. We'll get to that story coming up next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
GRD.com.
97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative Weather, brought to you by Burger King. Try the new Mushroom Swiss Steakhouse and satisfy your hunger. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. It's a cool start. Some frost this morning as you get things going. Friday night, we sure had a great time. At least I did. I think I can speak for everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
Was
that fun.
Cage Combat MMA at the Orbit Room.
Can't wait to break this down in detail of all of us sitting there.
Oh, my gosh.
Side of the ring, the damn chick fight was, I think, the one thing that stole the show in my book. At least watching Joe's reaction is mortification.
Boy, was that something.
This disgusting beast shipped in from who God knows where, parts unknown. Go. And she got her nose destroyed.
That's what happens to fat girls from Sanford.
Oh, boy, man.
I guess.
It was rough, man. I actually felt a little bad, but for about 1 second. Now I'm just laughing.
It was so much fun.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
It's so good to see you. I'm so horny.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
So whenever a team wins a championship in the major sports, in the 4 majors,
Dadu Super Bowl,
or college football, college basketball, and I think a lot of the other lesser-known non-revenue sports, they get invited to the White House.
Right, yeah.
Particularly the Super Bowl champion. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, after winning the Super Bowl this year against the Arizona Cardinals, invited to go to the White House and meet the president.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me personally, regardless of who the president was, whether I was a big fan of them or one of their biggest detractors, the chance to go to the White House and meet a president, even if it's the worst one ever, I would want to go.
Of course.
Not James Harrison, who was I believe he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. Certainly Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe it wasn't the MVP, but he did have that key play right before the half where he took that ball back near 100 yards.
That was crazy.
Big play. Very memorable play. He says he will not go to the White House when the Steelers are invited.
So he's not a Democrat?
It's not that he's not a Democrat. It doesn't actually say whether he voted for Obama or not, or whether he
like
voted
black
for...
guys? Isn't he a black guy?
He is a black guy. I don't
that's
think
what I thought.
He's not anti-black.
Come on, man.
He's mad. He says he's not going because if Arizona had won, the president would have invited them to the White House. And he says if you want to see the Steelers, you should invite the Steelers whether they win the Super Bowl or not. Quote, this is how I feel. If you want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers, invite us when we don't win the Super Bowl. As far as I'm concerned, he would have invited Arizona if they had won.
Well,
that's the point.
Well, yes, he would have, you stupid idiot.
He may be the stupidest man alive. So your take is you're not going because if someone else had won, you wouldn't have been invited. You're right. You're right and still wrong at the same time.
I'll bet that jerk Obama would have invited another winning team.
Any winning team besides us. Ridiculous. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Bridge traffic.
All right, usual spots of construction. No crashes to report. There is a patch crew out right now. It's Hudsonville-Jenison area. Chicago Drive between the 4th and 32nd Avenue. Blocks a lane in a moving operation. But that doesn't start till 10 o'clock today, going on till 4, so it might slow you down. Note for later. That's traffic.
Morning, 5:58. Time for your Free Beer and Hot Wings news update. Sunny to partly cloudy today. A high of 66. Chilly start now, though. 36 from Hot Wings. And an attack by 5 pit bulls landed 3 Kentwood residents in the hospital yesterday morning. Authorities say the dogs, all of which belong to those who were attacked, started to fight with each other and attacked 3 people when the owner and his girlfriend tried to stop the dog fight. The man's father was also injured. All 5 dogs have been seized by the Kent County Animal Control. So I would say that it was partly their fault because the dogs were all in the back of their old Jeep Grand Cherokee. 5 pit bulls confined in a small area hanging out where they had slept apparently overnight. Probably not the best decision there.
Pretty tight quarters.
Yeah, not real smart. Sports, it was a good start for the Red Wings. 2 longtime rivals squaring off at Joe Louis yesterday. First game of the Western Conference Finals, Game 1 starring the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. Dan Cleary scoring twice, pushing Detroit to the final 5-2 over Chicago. Michael Samuelsson and Johan Franzen also scoring for the Wings, who were aiming to win back-to-back Stanley Cup titles. Adam Burish and Chris Versteeg scoring for the Blackhawks. Chicago hoping to change things around for themselves tomorrow. They are back on the ice at 7:30.
That game was awesome.
Really
I
was.
So impressed.
The pace of the game was really fun to watch.
The Wings fans were chanting Blackhawks, and there's speculation that there's going to be a lot of chants that actually have happened before at Chicago Stadium when they do get back there. Sell some cars. Which I thought was a hell of a lot more creative than what the Wings fans came up with.
That's very college fight song chanty right there.
Yeah.
It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
And that is it for us today.
What the are you doing?
Okay, I don't know what. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
Sake, man, you're amateur.
Okay, but
are you professional or not?
Yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
It's the second time that he doesn't give a about what is going on in front of the
There's no
camera.
words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
1-800-947-3979.
I can't do it.
Kick your
We'll do it live.
You know, shut up for a second, all right?
We'll do it live.
No!
Do it live.
No!
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Let's go again!
Thing sucks.
Why are you trashing my scene? And rip that... No, shut the up, Bruce.
And now, here they are, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Oh, good for you.
It's Monday. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Eric Zane. Producer Joe here as well. You can join us toll-free, 1-800-947-3979. You can email the show, Free Beer and Hot Wings, at hotmail.com. We'll get to what Hot Wings thinks at the end of this hour. What is your topic, Hot Wings?
New York City's first swine flu death.
Yeah. Pretty big deal.
Oh, my gosh. Of course it is. It's huge. Biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over the news.
It is.
It is all over the news.
It is.
There is no question. You're still not buying it, I'm guessing, by your... I mean, I pretty much par for this show, I would guess that none of us are.
That's true.
So
still hype.
Probably lots of other deaths by lots of other things in New York.
Yeah. Will it turn out that he was only afflicted with swine flu, or had he had a history of medical problems? I'll tell you later.
Boy, I have no idea which one it'll be.
Well, I know. Could go either way.
You mean to tell me he wasn't fit as a fiddle?
Well, I haven't told you that yet. I don't know.
How very newsy of you.
I haven't told you that yet. Oh, man.
1-800-947-3979. Later this hour, we have to revisit the efforts of the audience to make the operator laugh on the Make the Operator Laugh Challenge.
Okay.
That's coming up a little bit later on this hour.
Mm-hmm.
That was classic.
Yes.
That game will be back in the rotation. I don't know when we'll do it again, but it won't be as long as it was in between.
For sure not.
That is a fact. It is the I Can't Wait to Talk About Blank segment, whatever might be on your mind, at 1-800-947-3979. You can also email the show anytime you want, Free Beer and Hot Wings, at hotmail.com. A couple of sports notes from last night, particularly one last night, others in the afternoon. 2 Game 7s in the NBA yesterday. The Lakers finally dispatched the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, they sure did, man. That's the end of them.
It's amazing that series went 7 games. And then the shocker, Boston Celtics all-time 20-5 in Game 7s. Particularly good at Game 7s held at home at Boston Garden, or in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And traditionally, the home team in the NBA, I think they win like 75% of the time in Game 7s. And this was the exception. The Orlando Magic win. They'll take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round, or in the Western Conference or Eastern Conference Finals. Some of those facts were right. Most of them were wrong. Maybe trying to read other stuff while you're reciting this stuff is not the best time to do it.
Well, while you were doing that, I was looking at the real surprise, and that wouldn't have been revealed till this morning if you open up the USA Today, which features in the front page of the sports page a photograph from the Rockets and Lakers game. And 2 of the 3 players that are featured prominently in the foreground of this picture are white.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Can you believe that?
No.
But not surprisingly, neither is American.
No, you knew they were Euro trash or Argentinians.
Looks like I think Pau Gasol. I think he's a Spaniard. Is that
Spaniard,
right?
And the other guy,
Andrew Bynum. He looks like.
Bynum is the black guy.
Oh, okay. Who's this?
Scola.
Who's this cracker?
Luis Scola.
He
is from Argentina. So Hot Wings was
I
dead
actually didn't know that.
All right.
It was Euro trash and an Argentinian.
Sure enough. Meanwhile, this is that Andrew Bynum. He's there, and then Kobe's in the background, and then I see the chin of a Black Rockets player. So So of the 5, 2 crackers, and that is an amazing feat right there.
Mm-hmm.
Would an Argentinian and a Spaniard be considered a cracker? They have to be.
Well, probably
I guess
not.
It depends on how one defines cracker. I would say no.
Yeah, I would say technically
if
no.
You're going
I'm going simply
strictly
on tone
on
of
pigmentation,
skin.
then yes,
they're definitely crackers.
By your definition of cracker, they are crackers.
Well, again then, Jason Kidd is as crackery as these 2, yet he is not considered crackery.
I think by your definition, you
He
could
would
call
be
him a
cracker.
cracker.
He'd be pissed. He'd say, I'm no
Would
cracker.
he? He might be, actually.
Because he's African American.
Is he? We've never figured that out.
We've kind of gone back and forth on the whole thing by skin. I mean, he's as pale as all of us.
He might be a white
guy.
He might be a white guy. He might have two parents who are white.
Somebody needs to ask him.
Okay, I think we actually looked this up once.
You know we forget. I mean,
I doubt it. That doesn't sound like us to have looked something up.
4.5 hours a day of chit-chat. You forget half the stuff we talk about.
His father, now deceased, was African American. His mother is Irish American.
Well, you'd think he'd be a nice mocha. Instead,
he is.
No, he's not. He's pink as hell.
He is not.
Absolutely.
Dude, he's pretty white. He's not mocha. He's pretty white.
He's not pink.
How is that mean?
Well, he's not pink. He's not an albino
He's
either.
not like a redhead's Wang.
But Zane is darker than him, though. When Zane gets a little bit of sun in the summertime, he's
I
way
think that's
darker
actually
than
the picture that during the middle of the game when his blood's pumping, he looks pretty pinkish to me.
Well, no wonder he can't win the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Who knows? Who knows? Freebird, save your racist statements for the home life, okay?
Save your racist statements for the home life.
That doesn't play on the radio, Imus. Why don't you chill out?
He's too pink to win.
Oh man,
Dwayne joins us. Hi, Dwayne.
This is Dwayne. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Now that we know your name, why don't you get something interesting?
What's going on, Dwayne?
Hello?
Yeah.
God,
What's going
you
on?
Suck.
I'm just trying to figure out what's up. I retired out of the military 21 years, and now I'm working here in Grand Rapids. But I'm trying to figure out, I've been on Match.com, and I've had friends introduce me. I'm trying to figure out why is it tough for a decent person to find somebody that is, normal. I mean, every time I go out with somebody, they either, look like a sea donkey, and it's like, I'm just trying to figure out, where do you meet nice people that you actually have something in common with, that you don't want to end up in a relationship where you feel used just because you have a decent income,
Boy, you got me. I found one, and I married her. That was the answer for me.
I haven't gotten past your use of sea donkey.
Sea donkey was pretty solid. That was a pretty good use.
I really liked that.
Have you gone on little dating adventures and then realized that you had a sea donkey with you?
Well, yeah, or your friends hook you up or something, and it's like, I'm in pretty good shape. My love handles don't make my ass look too small. It's just trying to find somebody who is reasonable that, you have things in common with that you don't really want. It seems like every time I go out, it's like people that don't have, everybody that hooks me up with somebody's like, well, they're a nice girl, but she needs some help. Maybe you can, it's like.
Well, maybe you need better friends. You should find better friends first.
Yeah, that's the key. Start there.
It sounds like your friends have a lower profile of you than you do, because they obviously think you're a good match for these losers they keep setting you up with.
Maybe you're trying too hard also. Maybe you seem a little needy. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe that's it, but I haven't gone out on an actual. I mean, I've gone out on dates, but I haven't really gone out with an actual, woman in quite a few months. So I'm trying to. I got my needs and stuff too, so that probably has a lot to do with it.
I don't know. I'd say Craigslist erotic services before they discontinue it is your best bet.
Yeah, try that out.
I think you're an animal, and I hope you have no more victims.
Oh no! Thank you, Dwayne.
All right, thank you.
No more victims.
Glad we could help. Another satisfied free beer and hot wings customer.
He refers to his dates as victims.
I really enjoyed his use of sea donkeys, though.
I had not heard that before.
Another unsatisfied customer. How true.
Listen to this. This is a great example of political correctness. This seems like something that would have happened here in the United States, but it happened in Australia. The town of Everleigh, Australia, spent a boatload of money updating a rail station called McDonald Town, which makes me think that the Hamburglar runs it.
That sounds like a fun place.
It does.
McDonald Town.
Where are you going? McDonald Town. In an attempt to make it more user-friendly for disabled people, for example, they put it in a new wheelchair-accessible payphone, because everybody's using payphones these days.
Perfect.
They put in new ramps to help people in wheelchairs get on and off the train.
Okay, that seems good.
All sorts of things. Costs thousands of dollars. 6 figures. They said they wouldn't reveal how much over 6 figures. The one thing they did not upgrade, though, was the 2 flights of stairs you have to take to get to the platform where you could take advantage of all the wheelchair-accessible spots they added. So to get to the wheelchair-friendly payphone or the ramps that will take you on and off the train, one would have to wheel your wheelchair up 2 flights of stairs. There is no elevator.
That seems brilliant.
So they spent 6 figures upgrading things that no one in a wheelchair could get to unless they're carried. That seems like it.
Yeah, that seems like a winner. Usually, I would think wheelchair accessible things you would start from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Right.
But
because of how those are on the ground.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because they're in the southern hemisphere. Everything's a little backward.
So?
Yeah.
Everything's backwards.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's winter there right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows?
Maybe it's also upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gravity works backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
Oh, God, I would hate to be in a wheelchair. God, that would suck.
We had to do that for, you had to take an hour out of the day when I was in school.
Yeah.
And be in a wheelchair and go around, and they didn't change the school.
Yeah.
Anything. Which really just illustrated to all the students how unfriendly, how not wheelchair-friendly the school was. We're like, why don't we fix these things? No, we don't have the budget. Well, thanks for showing us how bad it is for our classmates.
That's great. That's good. Thanks.
We have one student in a wheelchair, and now the rest of us had to wheel ourselves around all day. If I get a walking cast, everybody going to have to get one of those? Very sensitive. That's what we were thinking at the time.
Yep.
Of course.
Pretty classy. Also, there's a couple other things we have to get to. Hot Wings, Joe, I assume you still want to discuss Zane's jacket that he had on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Did you
he
wear
asked
it?
us to.
I didn't wear it today.
I knew it.
I know I didn't go with what I was wearing.
Hot Wings, did you say he asked us to?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You did.
I didn't ask you to talk about it on the radio for sure. I know that.
Okay, well, maybe not on the radio. But
I think the extent
you did ask an opinion.
Quite certain you didn't ask it for it to be talked about on the radio.
Well, I didn't say don't talk about it.
Right, which is, you might as well say, let's talk about it. You brought it up in the office, and you asked an opinion on your clothing.
I wasn't prepared to get the beating that I will get today. Yes, on Friday. I am prepared now. I, of course, like the jacket. And coming up in a handful of moments, Joe, Hot Wings, and to a lesser extent Free Beer will then attempt to make me not like my jacket by insulting me over the jacket that I now own.
No.
Because there is no way that written down on the show plan would it say Eric's jacket if it were going to be, I really like your jacket. Let's talk about how much we love your jacket.
I have positive comments about your jacket.
I would be disappointed if you did.
How much would it spin you out if it said Eric's jacket? And we said, coming up just after the top of the hour, we'll tell you all about Eric's jacket. And then we started and we said, I just wanted to say that we've been really critical of some of your clothing. But Eric bought this really nice jacket and wore it on Friday. And I really liked it. Hot Wings, what did you think?
I think he looked terrific in it.
Joe?
Yes.
I think it would be
on the way, PA pranks.
The worst morning show in America if you did that, and I'd say, so what are we doing? Why are you?
That would be
giving. Let's give each other compliments all day on the radio show.
The only way that we would ever do that is because that would make you wonder what we were up to.
Oh yeah.
The entire time, you would think you were being completely set up.
Oh my gosh!
I think there was a bomb in your car or something.
Yeah, I am already ready to just take my beating for my new jacket. But Joe, I don't really need to wear it today. You've already got a picture in your mind of what it looks like. You've got plenty of things that'll spur on some great attacks.
That is true.
So I don't need to wear it today. I mean, I didn't want to wear it with what I was wearing today.
Yeah, well, it's not necessary.
I know,
but I wanted to see it again.
Well,
maybe we can see it again later.
Yeah,
maybe
that would be helpful.
Unless I don't see. I think that the sweater was worse than this.
I agree with
that
statement.
Yes. I also agree with that.
We all agree. The sweater was.
Would
you use
crazy.
the word considerably when qualifying how much worse the sweater was than the jacket?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God, that sweater!
Yeah,
I still got that damn thing. It was the worst. I thought it was so sweet.
The sweater, the jacket that Zane got does have one thing in common with the sweater.
Oh, the pockets.
Yeah, it also
has breast pockets.
You do like pockets.
I like the way I like those pockets for sure. I don't like anything about the sweater. Trust me. I was persuaded easily.
Eric Zane only searches for tops to buy at breastpockets.com.
Apparently, breastpockets.com is a neat store where I get my gear.
Eric Zane, pocket enthusiast.
Yeah, this jacket does have breast pockets, which, whatever, I don't know. I mean, I don't go out and say, all right, what's everybody wearing? I'm going to buy what everybody is wearing. I buy what I like. And then I bring it to work, and then I don't like it anymore after I bring it to work.
That doesn't seem fair.
No, it's not.
It doesn't. Well, part of the problem, though, is you went out of your way to ask us about it. If you had just left it there and just started, if you just wore it, I probably wouldn't have even noticed it. But then once you bring it up,
I didn't do that about the sweater, though.
And plus,
I didn't do that about the sweater. You noticed that and then beat me up about it.
The sweater was a lot
Well, the
worse.
sweater made you look like a gingerbread man. That's why.
Well, and I imagine that my white jacket will make me look like something else. And I imagine there'll be references to A,
gay
insult,
cocaine addict from Studio 54.
Insult B. There it is. That's credit
Complete
for the first
douchebag.
insult. That's insult 2. Hell, we haven't even started yet. Unbelievable. We're already off and running. Breastpockets.com, studio whatever it was, insult, and I don't even remember what the...
Hot Wings just called you a douchebag.
Of course he did. That is already 3 solid insults, and we are 40-some minutes away from the official start of beating me up over my jacket.
The official start.
Well, look, it's written down. Here's how it went, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, I said, "All right, here's my new jacket. What do you think?" And then I see kind of some weird looks, and I could see that the gears were working inside of everybody's head, and I was like, "Okay, well, this can't be good." And so we all start to leave, and then a few more little trickle down insults take, but just small minor ones, not as bad as the first 3 already in 2 minutes. But Freebird then stops, walks back to the office, grabs the show plan, and goes, "Hang on, we have something for the top of this hour," and he writes it down. Mm-hmm. And so I looked at it and I said, "There's no way that at that point on the show it's going to be you look great, man. Nice jacket." I knew it was going to be devastating. And it's already started. But it's okay now because I was prepared for it.
Your jacket, you're probably going to be right. It might be like when we made fun of Notebook shoes, former intern Notebook. I assume former intern, haven't seen him in 3 weeks. Yeah. Joe doesn't tell us things. So
well, now
he might have been killed in a car wreck and we wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's
but
Joe's thing. Just let us learn by osmosis. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Carmen. Yeah, she was deathly ill. Sorry. I didn't tell you. Idiot.
Joe's very defensive about this, by the way.
Yeah. Our intern Carmen was grossly ill.
Hot Wings Zane and I thought she just stopped showing up.
And she was in poor health, and I found out through a third party, and I got Joe didn't tell you? Joe didn't tell you about that, really? That she was in the hospital for like a month? She was she's paraplegic. She had a massive bed sores that caused issue, and there was all sorts of problems. And I was like, what? I had no idea. Yeah, I thought Joe would have told you about that.
Mm-hmm. And then when you mentioned it to Joe, Joe goes,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Anyway.
What do you have to say for yourself, Joe?
That's exactly how it happened.
That's all right. We'll have somebody to cover for you in a couple of weeks on all those information things. His name's Steve. You can count on him. We can count on him. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
That's right.
Brutal.
That's right. Oh, beautiful.
So, how many of you guys seeked her out to make sure she was okay?
None. I was waiting for it to be verified.
No, I actually feel bad that I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But
thank you.
Now I'm actually worried that we'll all look bad because you forgot to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Joe.
We look like Johnny-come-latelys.
Thanks, Joe. Producer Chop's supposed to make us look good.
Coming up in the next
Instead, we all wear dumb white jackets. At least one of us.
The revisitation of Make the Operator Laugh. That's on the way. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Traffic.
All right, big freeway jobs. North side, westbound 96, one lane between Plainfield and Alpine. Wyoming 131 both ways at 44th. Left lane closed. Granville, eastbound Ford, one lane, 44th to 28th. That's traffic.
97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative. It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Free Beer and Hot Wings and Eric Zane. Did you see the news story from Warren? We're actually going to play some audio from it.
Yeah, when did this happen?
This weekend.
Because I was there in Warren when this went down.
Oh, yeah, you had your reunion.
Yeah.
The news
and
story.
in fact,
talking about the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the guys who was there is a Warren cop, one of my classmates.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. There was a quote-unquote Black Panther at a playground in Warren, and the police were called. A taser was used, but it wasn't exactly as it would seem.
Mm-hmm.
Not Black Panther like Forrest Gump ruined your party, but Black Panther like Cat at the Zoo kind of thing. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. It's in the ballpark of 40 now. The Tigers swept the Oakland A's over the weekend.
Yeah, they needed that.
They did. After being swept by the Minnesota Twins, they remain in first place.
Yeah,
Cooking along pretty well.
Yeah, pretty good so far.
Some of the hitting starting to come around. Pitching's been spotty. Good for the first two games in the series.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Equal rights for all, except blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Jews, gays, women, Muslims, everybody who's not a white man. And I mean white, so no Italians, no Polish, just people from Ireland, England, and Scotland. But only certain parts of Scotland and Ireland. Just full-blooded whites. No, you know what? Not even whites. Nobody gets any rights. America.
What Hot Wings thinks on the way this hour. We'll learn about swine flu and its first victim in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
The dangers that lurks for all of us. I'm just guessing. There's something about danger and lurking.
A lot of lurking,
If you're worth your salt, that'll involve some lurking.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday, we brought back what some would say is a classic game that we've done on the show from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, this didn't hurt the idea that it may be classic. The Free Beer and Hot Wings Make the Operator Laugh Challenge. Joe, would you say this is one of your favorites of all time? At least it has been in the past. That doesn't mean this one will be any good.
This one will be great. It has always been one of my favorites.
It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show Make the Operator Laugh Challenge. We discovered some time ago that when you call 411 and talk to the operator, that a lot of times the person is not filled with a jovial sense of humor.
They're all business.
And that's because they have a job and they need to be efficient, and it's not time to screw around and be silly.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is, from the time that you are on with a live operator, then we go ahead and you have about 30 seconds to make that operator laugh. If you do, we'll get you qualified for the refurbished laptop from thirdorb.com.
Is it just a chuckle? Does she have to full-on laugh? I mean, how do we?
I think it's a judgment call. If we get 2 out of 3 votes from us that it indeed counts as a laugh. If someone just goes, you got to be kidding, not a laugh.
Okay.
But if someone goes, all right, sir, let me look for it.
I think
that would be okay.
I am not betting on the listeners. I think they will have zero success.
I will talk, or one of us will talk, until the operator is on in person. And then the caller will take over.
Okay?
Sure
Chuck, you know what I'm saying with that? Chuck in New Jersey joins us. You're going to be our first contestant, Chuck.
Okay.
All right. So
I got it.
You know what I'm saying? I'll talk until once the operator gets on and we're talking to a real person, then you take over.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a plan for comedy?
A little bit. I'm going to see if I get a guy or a girl first and then go from there.
Yeah,
okay.
You got selective material for each person, right? Based on the gender.
All right. Let's see if we can. Do you think I'll need to hit the dump when they say what company we're calling?
Say what?
Because they're going to say the name of the company when I dial 411. Free advertisement for
them. Yeah, you know.
All right, Chuck. Stand by.
For news.
Chuck, if we have to dump, you lose.
Sorry, I didn't get that. What city and state?
Dallas, Texas.
Say the name of the business you want, or say residence.
Bart's Christmas Landscaping.
Sorry, please say the name of the business you want.
Bart's Christmas Landscaping.
Please hold for help with your request.
Okay. Chuck, It's all you.
I'm sorry, in Dallas. What would you like?
Hi, how you doing? I just flew in Dallas, and boy, my arm's tired.
Oh,
Hey, I was wondering if you could help me out with something.
okay.
I was wondering what's the difference between broccoli and boogers?
So do you need a number?
No, kids don't eat broccoli.
Right.
Do you have a sweet laugh?
Thank you. How may I help you, sir? What number are you looking for?
You think I could hear
She
your
won.
laugh?
Yeah, you did it. You did it.
She laughed.
She did
In
laugh.
the face of literally the worst material ever put together by anyone attempting to be funny. She laughed.
But even on that first one, when you said, I just flew into Dallas and my arms are tired,
she kind of laughed.
She kind of
chuckled.
did, and,
Yeah.
and she said, that's funny, but you talked over her when she said that. And then you pulled out the big kahuna, just in case anybody missed it.
Oh,
of, broccoli boogers crack.
That's the big fist of comedy right there, is the broccoli and boogers.
You're the next Robin Williams. Chuck,
well done.
You're in.
You join a short list of winners on this game.
Can't believe it.
That's
That was
very
stunning.
rare. All right, well, we're going to move on.
1 for 1. Want to try
Well
another
done,
one?
Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're rolling now, man. We're almost as funny as Bob and Tom at this point.
Chuck was using some Bob and Tom approved
Yeah,
material.
that's right.
This is Don in New York. Hi, Don.
Hi.
Don, the last guy won, and he's qualified to win the refurbished laptop from thirdorb.com. Are you ready to give it a try?
Oh yeah.
Okay. This guy sounds like he's hilarious. Just when he said, boy, yeah, he sounded like a hilarious comedian.
All right, Don. You know, if you just say operator, he'll go right to it. You don't need it. But whatever.
AT&T 411 nationwide. Say a city and state.
Chicago.
Or say,
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois.
What are you doing?
Don, you shut
sorry, please say the name
You're
of the
wrecking
business.
it.
Operator, please.
Oh, my God.
Please hold for help with your request.
Jesus, Don.
Good luck, Don.
All you.
Don't like your chances.
He says Chicago, Illinois. Dope.
What listing in Chicago?
Well, I went elephant hunting in my pajamas, and how the elephant got in my pajamas, I'll never know. Waka waka. Where is he? Where is everybody?
He hung up as soon as she answered because he realized he was stupid.
Oh, you clown. You pansy.
And then the operator hung up on us.
Oh, my God, a lady.
By the way, information calls cost $6.50 each. So far we've cost the company $13.
Did they really cost
No.
him?
Oh,
Tom in
I was gonna
Illinois.
say
Hi,
they
Tom.
do.
Hey.
Well, Tom, fireball.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Are you ready to
Spitfire? Let's
Tom,
go.
are you ready to laugh?
Yeah.
Okay. You understand your job?
Yep.
Okay, king of comedy and one-word answers.
Yep. All right.
Are you going with a Stephen Wright approach?
Sure.
All right, Tom, this is all you. You know what to do.
All right.
Got us a live wire.
You're the stupidest audience ever.
Not true.
AT&T 411 nationwide. Say a city and state.
Operate.
Or say other 411 services.
Operator, please.
Please hold for help with your request.
What are the other services?
All right, Tom, you're on.
City and state, please.
Do like big sausages or small sausages?
Excuse me? Hello?
Sausages or small sausages? Hello? Hello?
Oh, this is
Well,
awkward.
Tom, that was a great effort because I know that whenever I'm in a group of people, especially women, a guaranteed laugh every time is to incoherently ask, do you like big sausages or small sausages?
You pointless, drivel-minded fool. Do you like big sausages or small sausages?
He actually, it was clear he was going to be terrible at it from the time we said, hello, Tom, and he went, and he still managed to disappoint.
You know what? You know what he is? The kind of a guy who pees just a little every time he reads Family Circus.
Yeah, he does.
You know it.
Uh-huh. Got all sorts of ingrown.
Not because of laughs, but because of the tension. But not me, Ghost.
Where will Jeffy end up with his dotted lines?
He's the type of minger that's always impressed by his own ingrown hair ass zits.
Brad in Nashville listening on the Buzz. Hi, Brad.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Brad, can you do better than the last guy?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, guys!
AT&T 411 nationwide. Say your city and state.
Operator, please.
Please hold for help with your request.
Okay, Brandon, it's you.
What city and state, please?
Hey, you're looking good today.
I'm sorry, which city?
I said, you're looking great today.
You're all staticky. I can barely hear you. I'm sorry.
I said, you're looking great today.
Oh, thanks. You
what
too.
What kind of perfume is that? It smells good. You there?
Geez, Brad, I'm sorry that didn't work out. I mean, women like to be sexually harassed by a creep who's slowing down their job performance.
Yeah, what isn't funny about that to a woman?
What a feeble-minded idiot you are. What is wrong with you? No, seriously.
How did the first guy win?
Hey, you look good. You look good there, honey. What do you smell good, too. I can smell your crotch.
Do you have to go to, I know our cell phone's from AT&T, and there's other companies. I don't know which company you go to get the one that sounds like a drive-through squawk box.
I don't know.
Or if his voice sounds like that all the time. If he was in person, he'd still sound like,
he does. There's something wrong with him.
All right, so New Jersey's 1-0. All other listening areas, 0 for 1.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's try John in Maine. Hi, John.
How you doing, boys?
Very good. Can you...
Craigslist, John, by the way.
Okay. Can you make the operator laugh?
I don't know. What did he say?
John, by the way.
Yeah,
No, this is Craigslist, John. Remember the crazy Craigslist stripper? It's me.
Yes.
Okay, why don't you bring up other things that no one remembers? Shut the hell up and try to participate.
Remember me? I'm the guy who eats pizza.
Remember me? You to skip because of me.
Remember me? I'm famous on your show.
I am great.
Hey, John, could you hold on a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Phil in Maine. Hi, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, man.
There's this other guy from your state who's retarded, and his name's John.
Yep. But he is moderately famous.
Yep. Phil, I'm going to dial 411, and then you're going to take over and be hilarious and make the operator laugh, okay?
You got it, man.
All right. Good luck. Okay. So far, we're 1 for 4.
This bit is
better than normal.
Not letting down, is it, Joe?
Joe, do you still love it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go.
AT&T 411 nationwide.
Operator, please.
Please hold for help with your request.
Becoming more efficient. You're on, John.
May I help you?
Phil.
Hey, ma'am, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I woke up this morning and, things are a little weird. I was wondering if you could help me out. I need the number to maybe like a herpes clinic or something like that. I woke up this morning and my schwanz looked like somebody, poured Dippin' Dots all over it.
Like a disease control? What county are you in?
I'm in Cumberland County. No, I don't know about disease control. I mean, it's a vicious strain. I've never seen anything like this.
I would call the health department. They can refer you.
Health department?
Right.
Really?
County health department.
All right, well, I might also need the number to an AA clinic.
No,
you effing
a-hole. What you'll probably find is that strangers don't like to laugh in the face of someone who's just reported having a disease on their genitalia
that they can't explain.
Hell, man.
That's not funny.
Of course you do.
You so missed the mark.
Thank you, Phil.
Boy, the only thing you were missing out there is a little sexual harassment while you were at it.
By the way,
people,
it's subtle, but if you listen back to this later or if you're podcast it, back it up, because so far when Zane has said something to a caller, he hasn't had a name right yet. Phil in Maine, and then a couple seconds later, you said John, and all of the rest of them,
and look,
you've been
writing them down.
You've been one caller behind on every one of them.
Chuck, Don, Tom,
the last
Brandon,
guy was Brad,
Phil.
and you called him Brandon.
Robin Williams, Hitachi.
All right. That was a better effort. He at least was coherent and engaged the person, though it wasn't, in fact, remotely funny.
It actually makes me angry how awful these people are.
Joe, it's time to show them how it's done. Get ready. Producer Joe, make the operator laugh challenge.
All right, Joe, you're up. It's you and then Man Voices next.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, fact.
Oh, come on, man. Don't
Shut
make me
up.
hate
It's
this
time.
bitch.
Come on, Joe.
AT&T 411 nationwide. Say your city and state, or say other 411 services.
Chicago, Illinois. Other services. Whatever. Oh, God. I'm so nervous.
God Blessings Towing. Is that right?
Operator, please.
Please hold for help with your request.
Chicago, Illinois. What listing?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm really good. My name's Joe, and I'm with the Joe and Ben Morning Radio Show.
You're a whore.
And we were just talking about how operators must get the dumbest calls in the world from the craziest people. And we were wondering if you could tell a story of a time that some idiot called you that really made you laugh.
I'm really sorry, sir. I don't have time to do that.
Chuckle for me.
Say hi to your mother for me, okay?
Joe got all nervous.
His middle name is Grace Under Pressure.
Can they hear those drops?
Presumably. I mean, it's
I'm
not.
guessing they can.
You can set up the controls so
Yeah, I
that it
know
will
they hear
feed
it.
it down the
I know
down the
they can hear
control
those drops.
more directly. But even when it's not set up, I think they get bleed through. And they
Well,
can,
yeah, surely she could. I mean, it would have
Mhm.
come through the microphone from that.
Oh,
It was
Jesus.
loud as hell in here.
Oh.
intern Jackie Manvoice, you might get a pass.
No.
No?
Oh.
No matter what timing, I need to get it in?
I think this is going to be
This is
awkward
our new
as
intern,
hell.
Jackie. She's got this crazy, ballsy-ass voice.
Jackie does not look like a dude, by the way.
No,
Just has
no, she does not.
a deeper voice. Jackie,
Just a
step up
deep
there.
voice, and
Are
that's
you
why
ready? Are you ready to make the operator laugh?
I can try. We'll
Okay.
see.
All right.
I'm scared I'm going to laugh too hard myself trying to make her laugh.
No, you're good. You're golden.
All right, here we go.
Okay, don't be intimidated by that
Yeah.
big phallic
I'm
like
already
Mike
laughing. Hold on.
pointed into your face.
You can't do any worse than the creeps who we already had on the
Yeah,
air.
that's true.
All right, Jackie.
I shouldn't talk about my genitalia to him.
No, you can't.
No, you can. Please do.
We're already on.
Hold on.
Please hold for help with your request.
Okay, Jackie.
All
you're
right. All right, man, you're on.
What city and state?
Hello.
Hi. May I help you?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
How may I help you, ma'am?
I don't know.
Hold on for the supervisor.
Okay, thank you.
You're already out.
You got this
It's
supervisor.
like a prank call from a third grader. What was that?
That's like your dad. Hello.
I don't know.
Put your mom on the blower.
I want to order 10 pizzas.
Your refrigerator's running. Well, it was a good try.
When I talk to my mom on the phone, she talks so loud and it always makes me laugh. I thought, if I scream at her, maybe she'll laugh.
Laughter by intimidation.
That operator just got off the phone and said some man was yelling at me.
Yeah, some dude just called. He's yelling.
He was all like, hello. Jackie, you know we're kidding, right?
Yeah, I do. Actually, earlier, Zane, your voice can get higher than mine.
Oh,
way higher.
Everybody's voice is higher than yours.
Well, yeah, but I can't even make myself go. I can't even try. Like,
Zane, have a dueling dumb slut voice with Jackie Man voice.
I can't do a dumb slut voice 'cause I can't get that high.
Zane, you do it first, and Jackie, do your best impression of it.
Okay, you do your best impression of this.
Yeah, operator, I'd like to make a call. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Operator, I can't.
See,
that is awesome.
You're gonna make millions of dollars.
Yep.
Oh, my
Yep.
gosh.
I can't wait to work for you. Fantastic.
JMV, Jackie Man voice. That was a hell of an introduction.
Yeah, it sure was.
I was very relieved when I realized she could, take it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's always quite a risk because it's not like we set her up and say, hey, we're going to start calling you names.
Yeah.
And you just go with it.
Exactly.
It isn't like that.
Hope
It's
you're
like,
cool with
okay, we kind of test the water.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed cool enough.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God she responded favorably.
On the way in the next segment, what Hot Wings thinks. Swine flu kills someone in New York update.
Yep.
Swine flu in New York, an earthquake overnight in Los Angeles. We have some audio from a news station covering the earthquake who couldn't get someone as an eyewitness, so they decided to interview a producer. And Hot Wings heard some of the clip and didn't know it was a man who was speaking because the person is so flamboyant in their reaction to said earthquake.
And
So
it's called an overreaction, according to the clip.
Yeah.
I would say that's true, considering all things. It's not like it was the kind of earthquake that leveled the city.
No, it was
a little
mild.
rattling, little, maybe a little unnerving.
I think it was a 4.7 on the Richter scale.
Which, when you look at Richter scale, is pretty small, especially in California. That is not a big deal, or shouldn't be.
All that's on the way. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
.com.
97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Weather brought to you by the Screaming Needle Tattoo Shop. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. Freeze warning for counties to the north of Kent County.
Yeah.
And way down south by the Indiana border, there's a freeze warning. So you got that going for you.
Uh-huh.
Don't forget GRD's Rock the Cage featuring Powerman 5000. That's May 23rd. Club 131 inside the Deltaplex. Tickets $15 and $17. A day of sale, or a day of show, rather, I should say. Also, you buy a ticket to the NFC cage fighting event in the arena, can pay just $5 more to see Powerman 5000 that night.
That's
Great
worth
night
it
of
alone.
Rock and cage fighting from Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, 97.9 GRD.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Joe, would you give us a whop in the background?
Yeah.
Whop, whop.
At the Red House, where black people and white people buy furniture.
We'll get to what Hot Wings thinks in a moment. Eric Zane fashion update just after the top of the hour.
Termed as fashion update.
I don't know how else to say it. Also, we'll play the audio of that flamboyant Los Angeles news producer who was very excited after the earthquake in the night.
Yeah.
And then also we have an update on the manager of the Seattle Mariners, something Zane shared with us last week.
Yeah, did I screw something up?
The guy that you said speaks Japanese.
He's very, very little English. Did I wreck it?
We got some audio of him talking.
Oh, good. Because it was what I read was exactly what I said, and then it would be just like that, though, for me to have read it wrong, and he actually speaks perfect English.
We also have some audio of people in love with their car, and when we were revisiting some of the Make the Operator Laugh challenge, I walked into Joe's booth where he is screening some of the documentary. And this isn't like people in love with their car, like Hot Wings loves Corvette and wants to join Corvette Club, and we make fun of him for loving his car too much. This is actually physically wants to make love to their car.
Actually enamored.
Like
gets turgid.
The guy that Joe was watching in the documentary at that moment had one time made love to the helicopter used in the TV show Airwolf.
How do you pull that off?
Not sure.
I don't know.
And how do you... Oh.
I guess it was Jan Michael Vincent, the guy that was doing it. How weird.
How did you ever join a Corvette club?
No.
You know, with some other rich people?
Yes, because only rich people have.
Well, I would say that most Corvette owners have a little cash. Might have a tendency to have more cash.
Some do.
And since you come from a very wealthy family.
That's, well, obviously, yeah.
You were born with a silver Corvette in your mouth.
Yeah, well, totally.
You never did, though? You never joined a Corvette club?
No, been too busy this spring. With a baby on the way and everything. No.
Was not snooping enough?
Or was it like when we invited you to join Netflix with us right before your wedding and you had too many things going on and you couldn't balance it?
No, I mean, I there's enough going on in my life right now that it's just not a real important endeavor for me.
Or how about we just end it as it's just not real important, period, for anyone. Corvette Club.
Corvette Club. I was riding my bicycle in a subdivision near ours the other day, and I noticed a garage Hot Wings that you would like.
Yeah,
a lot of people would like. It was a normal 2-car garage from the outside, and I had noticed riding bike in that neighborhood in the past that this person had 2 Corvettes, both from similar era to what yours is. What is yours? A 2003?
Yeah.
And similar era. They might be a little newer or a little older. I am not in a Corvette club, so I do not know these things, nor am I authorized to know these things.
No, you're not. But you're going to get sneered at if you keep talking about it, too.
This guy's got a normal house, but he has like $80,000 worth of cars stacked up on a hydraulic lift in a third stall of his garage, which is buried in the back. I'm like, that's pretty badass.
Well, that's what you do.
Got them all lifted up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've known a couple of people that had those lifts and tons of crazy cars like that where you go, oh my god,
pretty sweet.
Awesome.
Got just in his garage because he's got 2 regular cars like for I don't know the guy, but I assume it's for him and his wife to drive. Between that, he's got like $140,000 worth of cars, used value, not to mention if he bought them new. Holy balls.
Yeah, some people, man, it's a real habit collecting cars.
Yep. So Hot Wings, you and your wife, as you mentioned when we asked you about Corvette Club, your first baby's on the way, just a few months away now.
Yep, August.
What, 3 months?
Yep.
3.5 months? That's pretty crazy.
27th week today.
Your baby has now been in the womb longer than I was. That's pretty crazy to think.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
especially when you were born. I mean, that was a real. I mean, now it's not that uncommon that you would have a pretty decent survival
Well,
rate.
hell,
But
back then, if you were born, 8 months, 3 weeks. Oh my God! It's an extreme preemie. Get it in an incubator for 4 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, listen to this. This is you guys went through many trials and tribulations with IVF, in vitro fertilization. Stories like this. This is annoying no matter who you are, I would think. An unmarried British businesswoman is almost 8 months pregnant following IVF treatment. Normally, that wouldn't be a story, except the woman is 66 years old.
66.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this deal.
She is having a child because she wants someone to, quote, leave her money to. Leave it to a charity, lady. This is selfish.
I can't believe that's even possible.
If she lives an average life, the child will be without a mother and presumably without a father, since she went through IVF and she appears to be...
In 10 years.
Yeah, in a decade.
10, 12 years, maybe 15. Who knows?
That kid will be
Listen.
Even if she lives to be 85, so what? The kid, when it's 15, has to take care of mom, who's older than most kids' grandparents?
Unbelievable. Can you imagine if the woman does live for a while, though, and if, doing the math, she's 84 when the kid is graduating, 83, 84 years old. He's there with his mother. Oh.
That's pretty wild.
Oh, no.
She says it was a very personal decision. She's hired a live-in nanny, was given the IVF treatment using a donor egg at a clinic in the Ukraine.
She is so going to get smothered by her kid.
Probably going to have to. She's very wealthy, so she can afford to do it. She has 3 stepchildren from her failed marriage who are all in their 40s.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, and she didn't like them.
Guess she couldn't give them the money, huh?
Well, does she look terrific? Do you think she looks great?
Doesn't have a picture.
She's probably pretty hot.
You never know, man, with money.
There was a 63-year-old who gave birth not too long ago. So
that really is just amazing. I can't believe that her system could even handle it. I mean, I know it's a donor egg and everything else, but still.
It's tough on a woman, man. 66 years old.
I'm surprised that the parts work
Yeah.
well enough to gestate a baby at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rare case. I don't think that's usually the case for
Do you
anyone.
think when the baby comes out, instead of being all covered in stuff like it normally is, like gooey and liquidy, it'll look like you found a baby in an attic in an old trunk?
Yeah, it'll be
all
covered
dusty.
in dust and cobwebs.
Oh, man.
It smell like mothballs.
Instead of wiping the baby off, the doctor just comes up there and goes,
Go home. Oh, man.
When she gives birth, it's like dumping a vacuum bag out.
Oh.
That's what it's going to look
You
like.
know that woman's going to suffer from a bad case of cracked yaw.
Yeah.
oh,
For
big
sure.
time.
For sure.
They're going to have to cleave off chunk.
Here's what Hot Wings thinks. Hot Wings. What Hot Wings thinks.
Free beer, Zane and listeners. New York City has just recorded its first swine flu death. And the news media's in full celebration mode. They couldn't be happier. Because hype is fun. But of course, that's all it is. The exact same number of people died falling off a ladder yesterday. You know, roughly 1. I don't see the news going all cuckoo over that. Where's the demand for safer ladders? Plus, as is the case every time someone dies from the flu, according to officials, the dude had a history of medical problems that may have put him at greater risk. Really? Now, if my math is right so far, between 15 and 20,000 people in the U.S. have died this year from just, regular flu. Where's the alert? Also, I drove around all day yesterday looking for all the signs and warnings telling me of the dangers of engaging in an activity that kills 41,000 people a year. Driving. I didn't see any.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the fear? Where's the outrage? Considering that this guy had a bunch of medical issues, including gout. True.
Gout?
Yeah, saying that he died just because of the swine flu would be like a firefighter's cause of death being listed as secondhand cigarette smoke because he went to the bar sometimes. Mm-hmm. Thank God the news has a reason to talk about swine flu again. I get sick of them updating me on like the economy or national security or wars. I hate that stuff. I can only hope that they discover how many people die every year because of cereal or wagon wheels or fingernails or tile. That'll give them a new avenue to spew out stupidity, and then I'll have something else to write about. Mm-hmm. I'm Hot Wings, and that's what I think.
That's your new opinion from Hot Wings. More of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show is next.
97.9 GRD. Road Rage Traffic.
Big freeway job taking place. Wyoming 131 both ways at 44th Street. Left lane closed. Granville eastbound Ford, one lane from 44th to 28th Street. And the north side westbound 96, one lane between Plainfield and Jupiter Avenues. No crashes to report. That's traffic.
News this time brought to you by McDonald's. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. I'm loving it.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 66. A little chilly right now. About 40. I'm Hot Wings. And a 22-year-old Grand Rapids man is expected to be formally charged with murder today in connection with the beating death of his great-grandmother back in November. Police said the body of 80-year-old Ruth Boyd was found in her home and said a blunt object was used to kill her. Police said it was her great-grandson, Ryan Ward, who discovered her body. The Kent County Prosecutor's Office issued a warrant for Ward's arrest, and Grand Rapids Police took him into custody Friday night. He's being held in Kent County Jail without bond. He will be arraigned later today. 4 arson suspects proved that Darwin was right. They appear to have provided police with videotape evidence of themselves setting fire to an abandoned house. 3 adult males and 1 juvenile female, all from Hopkins, are being held in connection with a structure fire that broke out about 4:30 in the morning Saturday in Monterey Township in Allegan County. A video taken by one of the suspects at the scene led to their arrest, according to Allegan Sheriff Lieutenant Frank Baker. The 4 were caught after a deputy arriving on the scene stopped the vehicle that they were attempting to drive away in. Subsequent interviews and the discovery of the video led to their arrest. Jeez.
I'm stupid.
The guys are in the Allegan County Jail. The juvenile female is at the Allegan County Youth Home. Names being withheld pending arraignment.
Pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. 2 longtime rivals squared off at Joe Louis Arena yesterday in the first game of the Western Conference Finals. Game 1 starring the Wings and the Blackhawks. Dan Cleary scoring twice, helping Detroit to a 5-2 win over Chicago. Michael Samuelson and Johan Franzen also scoring for the Wings. Game 2 set for tomorrow night, 7:30, once again, of course, at the Joe. And the Tigers licked their wounds from their series with the Twins and came home to sweep the Oakland A's. The Tigers scored 34 runs against the A's in the 3-game series. Yesterday, Curtis Granderson and Ramon Santiago each had 3-run homers for the Tigers, who had 13 hits. Armando Galarraga gave up 5 earned runs on 4 hits and 3 walks, forcing an early exit. Zach Minor then earned the victory while giving up 2 earned runs on 7 hits and a walk.
Galarraga is a great example of how things can change so quickly for a baseball player. Here he was the only bright spot, really, in the starting rotation for the Tigers last year. And now this year he's about to lose his spot in the rotation after not getting out of the early innings. I don't think he got out of the first inning in that game yesterday.
No.
In his first couple of games, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he start off really well the first few games?
Stop throwing strikes.
Yeah.
That'll get you in trouble pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings show.
It's about to get all stupid up in here.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Later this hour, what does it sound like when you get your producer to go on, and this is a TV news producer, to talk about the earthquake that just happened to you in Los Angeles? So I think it was around a 4.7, I think, on the Richter scale.
What was the Northridge one?
I thought it was closer to 8, but it's been so long ago. Much higher.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
But yeah, 5 is. I mean, you're still going to feel it.
Yeah.
Still a good earthquake.
One of my people I know on Facebook through high school is out there, and that was one of the things she wrote about already. It happened in the middle of the night, and she, of course, ran to the computer to announce that there's been an earthquake.
It's amazing how pervasive Facebook has come. They were talking about, I think it was The Daily Show I was watching. It might have been The Soup, but one of those satire shows was talking about how there was the first Twitter from space, and it said something like seeing Earth is awesome, or something like that. And I think it was Jon Stewart who said, wow, that's how far we've come in 40 years. One giant leap for mankind to, wow, space is awesome.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong actually gives some thought to his first big words in space, and the first Twitter is, this is awesome.
Pretty sweet.
Strike the pose.
That sounds like Madonna in Vogue.
Yeah, you strike a pose.
It's all about fashion, style.
Yeah.
On Friday, as we were getting ready to leave the radio station, Zane put on a jacket. And
I debated about wearing it in the studio on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very apprehensive. I was very apprehensive about it because anything that's even somewhat different, I'm very skittish about wearing in front of Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Joe. For fear of another sweater incident, referencing the time that I wore a sweater that was brutal. And I thought, oh, it looks good. And I came in and was quickly told otherwise, and it hasn't been worn since. So I was fearful of that happening yet again. So I purposely did not wear it into the studio yesterday, but on Friday. But I said, okay, well, all right, now there it is. So, guys, what do you think of this? That's what I said. That's all I can say for this portion of the segment because that's all I know happened. The rest, right away, things started happening between you guys enough that you wanted to warrant time to beat me up about this now. So let's just get out of the way.
I'm not particularly fashionable, so I'm certain I would have never noticed this. Or if I had noticed it, I would have never said anything.
Well, you're also
about your jacket.
You're also nicer than these two. Hot Wings
must be a little
in particular.
Bit. But once you asked, boy.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you had just put it on, even if a thought popped into my head, I may have made like one comment in the office, and then it was the weekend, I would have forgotten all about it. But it's because you actually asked, and then I looked at you and really sized it up. And then even if I loved it, of course I'm going to find fault with it because that's more fun than just going, no, I like it.
Describe the jacket, Hot Wings, if you can.
Well,
and Zane, you didn't wear it today?
No, I didn't. I didn't wear it today. No.
Well, I know that I referred to you immediately as Safari Dan. It's a white jacket, probably comes just below your waist, and it's
the same length like a jean jacket.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't sure exactly how long it was, but I knew it wasn't like 3/4 or anything, just right around waist.
Yeah,
and a fitted jacket. I mean, it's not like a big loose thing. I mean, it fits like it fits like it's
almost
tailored,
like a shirt,
kind of. And then it's got 2 breast pockets on it. And a couple of, like, just regular hand pockets.
And a collar.
And of course, it's got a collar, yeah.
And it's typical zipper button deal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It has a zipper and button.
You have accurately described the jacket.
What did you think of the jacket?
I'm Brian Fellows. That's what I thought of it from Saturday Night Live.
Tracy Jordan's or Tracy Morgan's character?
His safari character. It looks a little safari-ish.
A wicker hat away?
Yeah. Yeah, if you had some sort of a bush hat on, then, it would have been.
See, my inclination was to hand you my keys and a few dollars and ask you to go bring my car back.
Yeah.
That was what it came to for me.
Oh,
Joe, what about you?
I had a different thought. Mine was, I'm going to go gay clubbing.
You thought it was a gay club jacket?
It definitely is a gay club jacket.
No, you're not even leaving it open to gray.
No,
gray
it's
area.
not a safari, and it's not a valet. It's definitely... Well, when he modeled it for us, he was bent over. And he said, how do you like my new jacket?
That's true.
Is it?
I was bent over.
Close.
What are you talking about? I was bent over.
When you said, "Hey guys, what do you think of my new jacket?"
Why do you keep talking that way? I didn't talk with a lisp.
That's what it seemed like at the time.
That's what it seemed like at the time. You say, really?
Yes.
So I was bent over, you say, when I tried the jacket on and said, "Hey guys, how do you like my jacket?"
Yeah. Well, how did the purchase of this jacket go? I mean, did you go out and say, "I need a new jacket," and you ran across it, or did you just were there buying things and you went, "Hey, I like this," and tried it on? And
yeah, that's how it went, pretty much.
When you bought it, did you think, "This is perfect, this is me"?
I just liked it. That's all. I just liked it. Yeah, I thought it was
anything wrong.
I thought it looked nice to me. I felt good about it. But
there is something to what you're talking about when you wear any of us. I don't know if Hot Wings and Joe feel it, but I definitely know what you're talking about. If you wear something slightly out of the ordinary and you're just waiting for everyone to pile on,
pretty much,
it's pretty likely. I wish there was wish you had the jacket today. So
I know. I kind of wish I had brought it too.
So
now,
we could actually
now we could actually
take a photo.
There was a way we could.
I know it.
See it,
and then you guys would post it, and then the emails would roar in at a fast clip.
We'll have to make do with the ones we took on Friday.
Oh no!
Where each of us modeled the jacket in the office while you were gone. And now those photos are available in the pictures section of freebeerandhotwings.com.
When did you do this?
You'll note that
Did you do it beforehand?
No, about 2 seconds after you asked us how it looked and then walked out of the room.
You'll notice that it's a jacket made for little fellas when Hot Wings has it on because the sleeves come down to his forearm.
I knew it, man. I knew you'd pull something off.
Joe looks like he's ready to compete on America's Next Top Chef.
Can you turn it, Joe?
Yeah,
Yours is sideways.
I'm rotating them right now.
I look like I have a straight jacket on.
Yeah, you do. You look physically uncomfortable wearing it.
Oh,
but it really you can really see the style
though
with
you
it.
Did it though
with it all zipped up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back one, Hot Wings? First of all, you couldn't look more retarded, Hot Wings. God, it's like you. Yeah.
The jacket actually looks like in these photos it would be made out of the same material as someone's white pleather sofa.
Yeah, is that water repellent?
I have no idea. It is I don't know, some thread deal. That's all I got for you.
Some thread deal.
It's shiny.
It's got a little bit
white.
of a sheen to it.
In the photos, it sure does.
The good comments I had were that you did buy it at a store that makes nice clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
that's
something.
But are you telling me that I got the one thing that's not nice at that store? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, it is nice if you're young.
You can't say it's nice if you're young. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I knew that.
That's the thing. I don't think it fits our age group.
What are you talking about? Really?
Yeah.
Well, what would an old man like me wear then? What should I be wearing then?
Members only.
Your sweater.
Members only. My sweater. F you, all of you.
See, the funny thing is, I look at it completely different because that reminds me very much of a jacket my grandpa used to wear.
Really?
Like in the 70s, and he kept wearing it until he died in the 2000s because he didn't really update anything ever.
Your grandpa also shopped at gaybreastpockets.com.
But, a lot of things had breast pockets and stuff like in the 70s. And, I mean, that look is kind of coming around. It's an updated look, obviously. But So it's not exactly like what he wore. It just kind of reminds me of it a little bit. But.
You might, in fact, be ahead of the curve.
I doubt that.
Could be.
Well, all right. Well, then go to pictures, photos of our website. And you will see, damn it.
Joe referred to you buying clothes like someone who had been part of the Soviet Union and then got rich as a result of capitalism and started buying things that were expensive only because they were expensive but not because they looked good.
That sounds like a description Joe would do. That sounds about right. I have no idea whether it's right or wrong.
New friend of capitalism jacket.
It's definitely a club jacket. You've got to start tanning very quickly and dye your hair.
What about a medallion?
Now, this is a very medallion-worthy jacket.
Ooh, yeah.
If you wear this without a shirt under it and button it up,
come on.
This would be perfect.
That is absurd. I'm not going to wear it without a shirt.
It fits every decade.
Joe, will you get an orange tan and wear only that jacket and a medallion out to do some sort of Joe stunt to be determined?
Yeah, because it would be ridiculous.
You know, though, this is okay, though, because I'm glad that you're getting it out of your system because you haven't yet shamed it out of me. I don't see the sweater was a million times worse.
It was. Agreed.
Well, I agree.
Yes.
So I can't. I'm not yet defeated. I don't feel bad yet about the purchase.
That's okay.
Now, perhaps I will after more insults pour in from the email. But for right now, I'm okay. I can handle this. What do you got?
James asks if it would look good with white Dockers. Yes, it would look perfect.
It would look terrific with white Dockers.
One person points out that you should wear pine boughs.
Yeah, that would look good. Doesn't really correlate, but
it doesn't really correlate to anything we're
thank
talking
you.
about.
Lisa says it looks like a leisure suit jacket out of the 70s. I think that's very true.
Yeah, I think maybe that's kind of.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Lisa.
if you were to wear a Ralph Furley skirt or not a skirt, a scarf rather, you could do that.
It does look something like Mr. Furley would have been wearing. Phil writes it looks like something a gay African safari guide would wear.
Ah. All right, now they're rolling in. Excellent.
We'll see. You can see those pictures at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Oh, man.
They're available there.
I can't. In my mind, I showed you the jacket.
Mm-hmm.
You left the building. That's what I thought happened.
You left the room.
You showed us the jacket. You left the room.
That's
and Joe
amazing.
got a camera. We closed the door and took pictures. And it only took 1 minute. I mean, it's very quick,
I know,
so.
but I thought you guys were like leaving the building for the day.
We came back
were.
in.
And then that was it. I cannot imagine how you pulled that off so quickly. I mean, I don't remember it happening that way. I thought you just left. I was there for a minute or two, and then I left. I'm glad you did it because you were able to get the pictures posted. After the conversation, you all look like idiots because you're not as handsome as I am.
True.
I couldn't believe how small that was on me. I mean, I know I'm much taller than you, and I have longer arms, but you have broader shoulders than me, and I thought it would balance out a little bit when I put it on and stretched my arms forward.
No.
It came up to like my elbows.
Very tiny. Rusty?
Hey, what's going on, fellers?
Hey, dude.
If it's a gay club jacket, do you think Zane could pull out the moose knuckle pants, throw that on, and go clubbing with Joe, maybe?
I know that I would do.
Oh, yeah, you should. Yeah, this is a knuck-worthy jacket.
Yep. Thank you, Rusty. There was a time when Zane always wore pants that showed his crank through them. They were always super tight.
Oh,
a little too
tight.
Terrible. And a listener at an event after we had been on stage for an hour came up to Zane and said, "Why do you wear pants that allow people to see your junk through it?"
No, not just a listener. It was an attractive female
It started out with a compliment that she goes, "Zane, you look fantastic." Thank you. Oh, thanks. I love your shirt. Thank you very much. What's up with your pants, huh? Yeah, everyone can see your nuts. They can actually see the division of your left and right testicle because your pants are so tight. Go home and change them. So I did. But I just left
out of
and
there.
never came back. Mm-hmm. I stopped talking to her. I turned around. I walked to my car and went home.
You went pants shopping that day.
Oh.
1-800-947-3979. Maybe you could do a Eric Zane's ridiculed attire ensemble, and you could wear the sweater, the jacket, some moose knuckle pants, and then you can take your pants off and have on some mom shorts with pleats and long zippers.
Eric Zane Lost Wardrobe Fashion Show. We are getting a real consensus around the Three's Company theme, apparently. Regal Beagle references, Mr. Furley, all seem to be streaming in at a blistering pace. Dr. Evil Coat. There we go. Hey, Zane, where's Tubbs?
It does look like a Dr. Evil coat, too, from the Austin Powers series.
All right.
Coming up next, the sound of a producer for a Los Angeles television station when they use this man, used loosely, as the person to share their experiences of the earthquake that happened in Los Angeles over the night. We'll get to that coming up. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Hey. Road rage traffic.
Battle Creek area, eastbound 94 is closed between Capitol Avenue and M66 for that problem with the bridge there. Eastern Ionia County, Blue Water Highway between Muir and Coamo, one-lane squeeze for rumble strips. That's traffic.
Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. It's about 43 downtown GR. Later on, we've got to talk about at a greater length, probably at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
The Cage Combat MMA Friday night at the Orbit Room.
Oh, my gosh. What a great time that was. That was so much fun. That was so unexpected.
I thought it'd be fun, but it was even more fun than what I expected. It was.
You've got to go to this next time it comes around. What's the dude's name who puts it on? Dan?
It's got a bunch of people involved, but Dan's our main contact, and it's awesome.
You will have so
15,
much fun.
15 fights?
15 fights, and they get them out there one after the other, one after the other. They just do them, and some of them are short, some of them are longer. There's some good-ass fights.
There were some people who, showed some real balls, who took a real beating and kept fighting. It was impressive.
That one guy from the Kalamazoo area listened to the show. He seemed to be pretty cool.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Oh my God, I'm looking at a baby!
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Coming up in the next segment, we'll hear the Seattle Mariners' new manager, well, relatively new, addressing the media.
Oh, gosh.
Some audio of that coming up a little bit later on.
I got a nagging feeling that he speaks perfect English.
You might be in trouble.
Oh, wait. Thing is, I read that. That's what I read in the USA Today, that Ken Griffey Jr. had to speak to the translator because he said he didn't speak any Japanese.
It seems like you may have gone to hotwingsfakenews.com.
I will find the article.
Don't do it yet.
Of the USA Today?
You have to wait to hear our...
Well, I got to make sure it's there. I'm not going to read it. I just want to make sure that the USA Today article does exist. It was from late last week.
There may be some audio evidence that would say otherwise.
I would guess there is.
We may play the audio of you reporting your breaking news regarding him only speaking Japanese, and then we may play some audio of the manager speaking something other than Japanese.
It's possible.
He may, in fact, be in the audio speaking perfect English.
Probably. Well, I never said he... No, I don't want to say he never said anything because that means that you'll play. But I was under the impression when I read the article because it said that Ken Griffey Jr. had to talk to a translator.
Mm-hmm.
So then on the air, I remember saying, what happens when he has to argue a call?
Mm-hmm. I wish you had continued with the I never said tangent.
You got to be careful on this show.
That would have been a real treat. Not going to lie. Yeah. So we've got some audio. There was a hurricane. Not a hurricane, for goodness sakes.
Come on.
An earthquake.
Get it together.
Last night in Los Angeles, in the Southern California area. And one of the news stations, they're always looking for someone to get on the air to be the man on the street in the face of an emergency. And it was very late at night when this happened. So they called one of the producers for their newscast to get this guy's take on the earthquake.
On the phone right now is one of our news producers, Shane Babin. You're down in Long Beach. What did you feel, Shane?
Oh, my God, Lena Juana. Seriously. I've only lived here 10 years, but this is the biggest quake I've ever felt. I was laying on the couch in my office, and one of my dogs was laying with me, and the other one comes running from the back of the house, and she's jumping on my face. I'm like, what's going on? And then I live in a 95-year-old house. The wood, it sounds like the entire house was cracking, like it was about to fall apart. I grabbed them. I ran outside screaming, of course. And all my neighbors were outside. They're like, are you okay? I was like, oh, my God, what's going on? It was crazy.
Oh,
and then
Shane.
after it stopped shaking, I come back inside. My smoke alarm fell off the roof. It shattered.
Oh, wow.
Every picture in the house is crooked. I've never, all of my picture frames in the office are on the ground. Picture frame in the dining room is on the floor. I've never, ever had damage from a quake, ever. I ain't seen anything crooked like this. Now one of my dogs is under the bed. She won't come out. It was so strong in Long Beach. I've never felt nothing like it.
Man, the last time I heard that guy talk, it was when he threw the javelin in Revenge of the Nerds Part 1, man. What up, Lamar?
God. It was more from this guy.
Okay.
Well, Shane, you're okay, and your two dogs are okay, right? Because, dogs, they know when things like this are going to happen.
One of them, nothing had started shaking, and she comes running from the bedroom and jumped on my head. And then as soon as she jumped on me, I
got a boner.
Her up, and we ran outside, and as soon as she jumped on my face, the whole house started shaking. I live in a craftsman home, 95 years old, and you could literally hear wood cracking. It sounded like the house was about to come crumbling down. And I picked them up, and we ran outside. By the time we got outside, And I keep hearing y'all say don't go outside, but what else are you going to do? You go outside. All of our neighbors were outside. Everyone was outside, and I was holding them. And by then, of course, I was crying because I thought the house was going to collapse.
As a producer, we got to take a break every once in a while, so we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
That guy. I can't believe that's a dude.
You sound like a gay.
Yeah.
That's front of the parade.
Now they're having gay sex.
That's what he sang to his dog. He jumped in my face.
Cowboy gay sex.
He kept bringing up how the dog sits on his face. He couldn't just say the dog jumped on the bed. The dog's legs were spread, and he sat right on my face.
His face was buried in it.
I put on this white jacket.
I just got it.
I pranced around outside, because that's what you do in white safari jackets with breath pockets.
Can you imagine how long we'd have laughed if that was video, and when they went to him, he was wearing the same jacket.
Same exact jacket.
As the one that Zane was.
Oh, my God.
I mean, really.
I would never have stopped laughing. That would have been it.
That would have felt like the universe tilted off its axis a little bit right there.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is the guy describes it so out of control as though this were like a great quake, like the one that hit San Francisco in the 19-teens.
I'm gay.
Yay! A 4.7, like you said, it'll, might knock some of the pictures on the wall out of balance, maybe rattle a few things.
He's
right?
Gay. He's gay. He's gay. Did you hear the news? He's gay.
Can you imagine if this guy was on the bridge, though, in San Francisco when that all went down?
Oh, jeez. Are you kidding?
Oh, dogs would have had to bury their boner in his face then to be okay.
I was so out of control, I rubbed peanut butter all over my dog.
I grab any dog and we 69 right there, because that's what I do when things go out crazy.
Coming up, a Don Wakamatsu update.
Ah, boy.
He's Japanese, right?
An Eric Zane fake news update.
Oh, it is so not fake news. I'm not kidding you. Did you have the USA Today article in front of you?
I don't, but we will listen to what you report.
Okay.
And then we will let the people decide. So, we will be fair and balanced.
Yeah, we report, you decide.
Well, it's clear. I said he doesn't speak English, and he obviously speaks perfect English. So
I don't know. It could turn out you're right.
Maybe
who knows?
We probably have audio of him talking in broken English.
Yeah.
And or with a translator. Maybe we're hearing the translator.
And as soon as I flipped the show plan today, I saw Eric Zane's jacket. Okay, I'm going to take a hit on that one. And this is Japanese-speaking baseball manager. I went, oh, boy. As soon as I saw it, I suspected there was trouble. I knew it.
Surely you've had no problem locating that news story that told you he only spoke Japanese.
Well, you see, no, I have not had any success answering your question, honestly. I have no success in locating the article, which was late last week about the Mariners, how they're having fun now because they got rid of the old manager and they got this new manager who nobody can understand, apparently.
That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wig Show. 97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative. It's the Free Beer and Hot Wig Show, brought to you by Menards. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. It is about 45 downtown GR. Hey, Joe, I just thought of this as we're going. I don't know how easy it is, but if you have any other news clips saved where one of us took a trip to hotwingsfakenews.com, I know I've done it. I know that Hot Wings has done it, thus the name.
Mm-hmm.
That might be worth busting out in this next segment, if you have them handy. If not, no big whoop. Tigers win again yesterday. Like we said, they are now they're still in first place. Not a lot of people would have predicted that a little over a quarter of the way through the Major League Baseball season that the American League division leaders would be the Tigers, the Blue Jays, and the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably very few people would have gotten that right.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Saturday night was a good time. Thanks to our buddy Mickey Graham, who got me some tickets for the Whitecaps game Saturday night against the Loons when Jeremy Bonderman took the hill.
By the way, those camouflage uniforms look awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the
Those
camo
are the
uniforms.
stupidest looking things I've ever seen in my life.
No good.
That looks great, guys.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Ever since I've gotten clean, there's something about fresh morning air that
just really makes me sick.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Speaking of sick, there's a news story or documentary we have to share some audio from coming up a little bit later on in the next segment about men who fall in love with vehicles, literally fall in love and want to have physical relationships with vehicles. There's that woman that claims to be in a relationship with the Eiffel Tower as well. You ever hear about her?
No.
She actually kisses and rubs on the Eiffel Tower and claims to be married to it. Kisses it.
That sounds
makes
awful.
love to the Eiffel Tower when people aren't around. We'll have that coming up. Also, we mentioned on Friday, and we didn't get to it, the yearbook photo that went wrong for a high school student. You don't want to have that long-time record working against you. Meanwhile, it was last week that Zane, you busted out some information. Just in the context of the show, you kind of just said, hey, you know what, there's a story about this manager from the Seattle Mariners. I don't follow the Mariners hardly at all.
No, and that's what I was based on. I was like, did you know that the guy from the Seattle Mariners speaks very little English? He does? Really? Is that true? Yeah. I just read this article. So I immediately asked, how does that go if he has to – it involved several minutes of, well, how does he rush to the mound and argue?
Yeah. This is how you broke the news to us.
Did you know that this manager of the Seattle Mariners is Japanese?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Did you know that the manager of the Seattle Mariners doesn't speak English?
What? He doesn't? Who's the manager?
Something Watha. Whatever. He's some Japanese dude.
So he's got he manages and then there's a translator next to him everywhere he goes?
Yes. I did the same thing. How does this work?
That's got to be hard enough when you're a manager and you got guys who speak Spanish on the team. Or a player who speaks Japanese, but when you're the guy leading the show.
Well, what happens when he goes to dispute a call? Does the interpreter have to go with him? Act mad. I mean, seriously.
That was the update on the manager of the Seattle Mariners, who was appointed last November as the manager, Don Wakamatsu. Here he is addressing reporters after a game this weekend.
I'm honored to have a history and to carry that on in a sense. My parents, my grandparents have a long history here up in the Northwest.
Technically, he's addressing reporters when he was announced as the manager.
That I'm very proud of, and I'm proud to represent some of the things that they've went through in their lifetime. So, yes, I think if I could set somewhat of a stepping stone for future Japanese Americans and just the equality in baseball, I'm glad to wear that or burden that torch.
So that was manager Don Wakamatsu. Again, this is Zane's breaking news.
Did you know that this manager of the Seattle Mariners is Japanese?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Did you know that the manager of the Seattle Mariners doesn't speak English?
I'm honored to be...
He has learned English so well since November.
Oh, my gosh.
November?
Wilbur.
Since Thursday.
Wilbur Donald Don Wakamatsu. Wilbur Donald is a funny name for a Japanese guy.
Wilbur Donald, yeah.
Born February 22nd, 1963 in Hood River, Oregon. Is a former catcher and coach in Major League Baseball. Wakamatsu was named the manager of the Mariners in November of 2008, becoming the 16th manager in club history. Born to a Japanese father and an Irish-American mother, the first Asian-American manager in Major League Baseball.
Well, all right. Now, you see, this is really doubly, triply bad for me because I don't have the ability. I don't know how to operate this newfangled internet thing to be able to search for an archive of something I read. I read it on a... oh, boy. I read it
on fake news
on a hard copy of the USA Today.
Yeah,
which I no longer have. I remember sitting on the toilet reading it here at the radio station, saying, "I can't believe that." And it specifically talked about, I swear, it talked about Ken Griffey Jr. being back with the Mariners, and how he has to speak to an interpreter.
Let me read the article to you.
Oh, awesome! You found it. All right, vindicated. Right here. This is it. I have the proof. How did you find it?
Someone sent it to us.
Oh, sweet. Thank God. Thank you.
Or you could have just gone under USA Today search and typed in Wakamatsu.
I'm telling you, I did it. Hot wings? No, you didn't. Did you find it, too?
Let's see. Okay, that's what I did. Look at the first article. What does it say?
The article. Griffey Wakamatsu make the game fun again for Mariners.
Yep.
Okay, well, here you go. Look at it. It talks about the translator.
Ken Griffey Jr. quietly walks over to a Japanese-speaking translator.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Suzuki, standing behind the batting cage in Minnesota last weekend, nods towards Seattle Mariners rookie manager Don Wakamatsu and asks, how much Japanese does he really know? He has heard that Wakamatsu, the first Asian-American manager in Major League Baseball and known for his calm demeanor, can barely speak the language. Suzuki dances around Griffey's question, but when pressed concedes, good. Now he teaches me some Japanese swear words. See, the language they're talking about is Japanese. He's asking the Japanese translator how much Japanese the manager who was born in America knows.
He is?
Yes.
Hold on a minute.
Maybe we could read this for you again.
Would you?
Maybe if I try.
How about you try it?
I'll try it. Okay.
To me, it sounds like the guy doesn't speak English. He's got a GD translator next to him.
All right.
That's the article.
Okay. Now listen intently.
It is the article.
Watch my lips if you need to.
Stop insulting me. I'm telling you, it reads a certain way if you're only half paying attention.
You were reading it while on the toilet. What else were you doing?
Yeah.
Well, it seems confusing. Shut up.
Wiping your you-know-what with your jacket.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if you're wearing your coat right now.
Stop being rude. Stop it.
If you're only half paying attention.
Please read it again.
Were you trying to give yourself a blumpkin?
Yeah. What were you doing with free beer? Just read it. Where were your hands?
It sounded the same to me. Wait. I mean, I get it now after he said it, but he had to explain it to me.
Howings, read it again.
Ken Griffey Jr. quietly walks over to Japanese-speaking translator Anthony Suzuki, standing behind the batting cage in Minnesota last weekend, nods towards Seattle Mariners rookie manager Don Wakamatsu and asks, just how much Japanese does he really know?
Who's he talking about?
Wakamatsu.
Because he goes to the translator.
Okay. And asks the translator how much Japanese.
Imagine that free beer is Wakamatsu. You're the translator. Yep. Mm-hmm. How much Japanese does he know anyway?
Nodding. Okay. Gotcha.
Nodding.
Let me ask you this. If Wakamatsu indeed spoke only Japanese, why would Ken Griffey Jr. ask the translator who translates Japanese to English how much Japanese he knows?
In my mind, I'm not going to answer that. In my mind, when I read the article, I supplanted various bits of information that he was asking the translator, how much English does he speak? That's what happened. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened. And I was too clouded by the hilarious impression in my mind that he runs to home plate to argue a call with this little nerd translator in tow. And I said, oh, okay, close the newspaper. I need no more material for joke bombs. Here we go. We got a bit.
Hold on, I've got breaking news.
Did you know that this manager of the Seattle Mariners is Japanese?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Did you know that the manager of the Seattle Mariners doesn't speak English?
I'm honored to have a history and to carry that on in a sense. My parents, my grandparents have a long history.
A long history in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, man. Now I'm a fan of that guy. I actually want the Mariners to win now because of that guy.
The Japanese guy?
The Japanese. He is definitely Japanese. This we do know. Half.
He's half Japanese.
He's half Japanese.
Yeah. He's as Japanese as I am German.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know.
Oh, God.
Do you speak English?
Not as well as the manager of the Seattle Mariners.
This has been one of those hours.
Susan writes, Mariner manager better at English than Zane.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. I appreciate that.
He learned it since Thursday.
Thank you, Susan. Glad you could get that out of your system.
In your defense, the words Japanese and English look almost exactly the same.
Unbelievable. How does this happen continually?
Brian's got your back. Hi, Brian.
Oh, of course he does. Hey, Brian.
Hey, for Zane's defense, if he speaks perfect English, why do they have a translator?
Because some of the players speak Japanese.
Like that guy,
Wait a minute. What?
There are players on the team.
Like Ichiro.
Like Ichiro Suzuki. He speaks mostly maybe some broken English at this point.
So it wouldn't matter.
The team has a translator because a Japanese guy is on the team.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that doesn't stick.
Brian, I'm a little disappointed that you couldn't work that through on your own.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking the heat off me, Brian.
Only pretty much their most famous player over the last, 5-6 years.
I tried.
Yeah, that was bad, Brian.
Wait, one person speaks English. Why would they need someone to translate to another language?
I think what happened was I was clouded by Japanese manager and translator and just immediately thought that he needed a translator. That's all that happened. Though it clearly, damn it. If he
Were you about to say it clearly says what you said?
Well, no, it clearly says that he's not, that there is no issue whatsoever. If he had not been a Japanese American manager, I would have immediately just understood what the hell was going on. But that conversation would never have taken place in the first place. The conversation between Griffey and the translator would never have even have happened.
You didn't even jump to a conclusion. You screamed to one.
Because
you came back in and said, did you know they hired
to believe
a Japanese manager, which makes it seem like they plucked a guy out of the Japanese professional leagues.
Yep. I 100% believe that. I spent the whole weekend thinking about this.
Now, in your defense, if you reordered most of the words in the article, you could turn it into that.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible.
Well,
to glean that.
That's pretty neat for you.
That's not really helpful in any way.
In the next segment,
I don't feel any way positive about my existence right now. I buy bad coats. I don't like Japanese people, and that's all.
In the next segment, the audio story of people that are physically in love with their car, in lust with cars. In general, this is creeps.
By the way, as we prepare for that, how has it that we have become on this show that I can look at the fact that bit was coming up? It says here, 45 after the hour, Japanese-speaking baseball manager. I took one look at that and said, I screwed up.
I was pretty surprised that you picked up on that because with the way the story
need to be more subtle. You're going to need to just
I'm going to have to just lie.
You're going to have to write in abbreviations or something to remind you, but not me.
Yeah,
because I'm too in tune with not in tune with anything. Apparently,
how crazy that you can figure out the non-intended meaning of what I wrote down when you can also figure out the non-intended meaning of the article that you were reading.
I have no idea. I don't know how things happen that way. I'm embarrassed.
We'll take a break.
Idiot.
It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Road rage traffic.
We got a wreck north of Holland, US 31 at James Street. Holland Township Rescue Ambulance and police were there for that one. That's traffic.
It is brought to you by the Payment Authority. Visit online at paymentsauthority.org.
Should be a pretty nice day today. 66 for a high, a lot of sunshine. It's 48 now. I'm Hot Wings. And an attack by 5 pit bulls landed 3 Kentwood residents in the hospital Sunday morning. Authorities say the dogs, all of which belong to those attacked, started to fight with each other and then attacked 3 people when the owner and his girlfriend tried to stop the dog fight. The man's father was also injured. All 5 dogs have been seized by the Kent County Animal Control. We're trying to figure out whether or not they're a threat.
Were all of the dogs and the people sleeping in the
Grand
Cherokee?
They were all in the Cherokee when it happened. So
seems like a recipe for
sometimes dogs or people hate you for no reason.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty confined area for the 5 dogs and the 2 people, and
sure does.
Good living there.
Yeah, seemed fun.
5 dogs in a house would seem like a lot.
Yeah.
Much less in the cargo area of a Grand Cherokee.
That's something you see on The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. Guy's thinking, geez, I knew I shouldn't have started eating that steak in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Rolling in blood and punching the dogs.
Terrible idea. 4 arson suspects appear to have provided police with videotape evidence of themselves setting fire to an abandoned house. 3 adult males and 1 juvenile female, all from Hopkins, are being held in connection with a structure fire that broke out around 4:30 Saturday morning. A video taken by one of the suspects at the scene is what led to their arrest, according to the Allegan County Sheriff. The 4 were caught after a deputy arriving on the scene stopped the vehicle they were attempting to drive away in. They, of course, interviewed the people, and that seemed shady, and then they found the videotape of them lighting it on fire.
Yeah.
The adult males are being held in the Allegan County Jail, female being held at the Allegan County Youth Home, their names being withheld pending arraignment.
They don't even have names.
No.
They were just named boy and girl.
Maybe a
he
grunt.
and she. I'm sure she's real hot.
Real
Oh,
attractive chick.
yeah.
Well, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of
And
course.
bathing
Big time.
months stinks. Just like the rest of them. Rest of those, her counterparts.
The Red Wings had a good game yesterday against the Chicago Blackhawks in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Dan Cleary with 2 scores in that. The final, 5-2. The 5th goal, empty netter. Michael Samuelsson and Johan Franzen also scoring for the Wings. Franzen's goal was awesome, I thought, where he wrapped it around the back of the net,
yeah.
shoved it in.
Especially took it away from 2 defenders.
Oh, my gosh, man. That guy, the way he turns it on during the playoffs is ridiculous.
It's pretty amazing.
The 2 teams are back on the ice tomorrow night at 7:30. Good weekend for the Tigers as well. Coming off that 3-game sweep from the Twins, they go home to sweep the Oakland A's, put up huge numbers, too. 34 runs they scored in the 3 games.
Pretty impressive. They had 2 grand slams in Saturday's game and then 2 3-run homers yesterday.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
I swear, that's the first time you've genuinely made me laugh.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Later this hour, we'll tell you about a yearbook photo that went horribly wrong. Actually, a couple of them. This one was kind of the kids. It was their own fault to some degree, though you would think it would have been stopped from going in the yearbook. There's always somebody that's on the yearbook committee, at least at my school there always was, where they'd get on the yearbook committee just to sabotage the thing, just to put in pictures that they knew people would hate or try to sneak things in that would get past the faculty that was there to advise the yearbook committee.
Yeah.
Did you guys have that? Did you have a yearbook committee?
We did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a whole class
we had a good
that was
yearbook.
yearbook.
Staff, yeah, that's all they did.
Was there really?
Yearbook, yeah.
Yeah,
it
was a
year
big
doing it.
production. Yeah, they would win awards and stuff. I mean, it was a big deal at our school.
Well, yours wasn't better than ours.
No, I bet it was.
I'll bet both of yours were better than mine.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Where
of
you
course,
live, they just
yeah.
pass out stone tablets and just everybody barfs on it.
Mine was
With your stupid sloppy talk hillbilly school. Here's your dried barf tablet.
Mine was just a notebook. Some drawings.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was with some of the people that put together our yearbook over the weekend for the class reunion, and I made it. And I didn't make an ass out of myself to any of those people, but I did make an ass out of myself to one person in particular, and it was terribly awkward. My God, and I so did not intend it to be.
And you said you had some nerves going to this reunion. You talked about it on Friday. And I think a lot of people feel that when they get ready to go to a reunion.
Yeah.
This was technically 21 years, right?
Yeah. And but all those nerves were abandoned because everybody seemed to really be cool, and everyone's having a great time. I mean, it was terrific to see some of these people. It was amazing to see who hasn't changed, who has changed, and so on. And it was just fun. And so then I meet this one woman, and I knew her in high school, and I actually think we dated a couple times. And then she realized when we were dating that there is no transition period in Eric's world from want to go out to let me touch your boobs. I was a rather grabby high school student, to say the least.
She quickly tired of her boobs smelling like hay.
Poor thing. So, I was a kind of an animal, and thank God she got away from me for her own sake, for her own safety. But anyway, she's still very nice, and I enjoyed talking to her at the 10 years. So here she is at the 20 year. And now it's been a long time, and she looks terrific. She looks like $1 million. And so I'm talking to her, and I said, so, Monica, how's it going? I'm doing okay. Now, I haven't kept up with her at all. I have no idea what she's done in 20 years. I don't even remember from the 10 year what she did.
Right. That's a long time.
Like I said, so imagine this. In my mind, when I'm talking to her, and I'm standing next to Stuart Lee, the guy that beat my ass, that everyone was chanting USA,
Right.
USA during our. So Stuart's there. And
With his translator?
no, he speaks perfect English. And I'm looking at Monica, and then another guy too, and we're all just kind of standing and talking to Monica, and I go, and I got her in my mind mixed up with another woman I went to high school with named Sloan, and Sloan was a dancer and a very good dancer, like ballet and opera. I mean, all sorts of. She makes a living
like
dancing,
full training,
professional, like dance school type of dancing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got her, the woman I'm looking at, in the face, combined with Sloan. And then this came out of my mouth. So are you still a dancer? Now, to Sloan, that would have made sense.
Right.
But to a woman who has no idea what I'm talking about, all she hears is he thinks I'm a stripper. And that's what everybody thought. They go, "Are you asking if she's a stripper?" Stuart goes, "You think? Do you have a pole in your house?" And it was such a bummer. Oh boy, she gave me this look like, "What?" And she actually said, "What?" I go,
And that's
no, that's not what I meant. I've said something wrong, haven't I?
Very difficult to explain how you got to that point, because inherently you have to say, I didn't remember you as well as I thought. That's the only way to explain it, and that doesn't feel good, even though it happens to everybody. It's an easy mistake.
It was bad. The conversation quickly kind of fizzled.
Good thing Sloane's not a whore.
Yeah.
You're still a whore.
Oh, boy. So this was just awful. They're looking at this woman in the face. I'm like, oh, God.
Now, did you see those guys that are on your Facebook that look old enough to be your dad?
No. Those corpses, as Joe referred to them. None of the three corpses were there.
They were your classmates, but they all look a decade or two older than you.
No, they were not there, amazingly.
No doubt all busy together on a porch somewhere drinking country time lemonade.
Oh, big time. There was a couple.
Or two were carrying the other one to his grave.
There was one, There was one guy there who, boy, he was a weirdo during high school, and he continued that trend over the weekend. And he walked in wearing a beret. And I said to my friend Vicky,
"Where's the beret?"
Who lives in the listening area now. We've kind of become friends with her because she lives nearby, and I look at her, and we both said the dude's a creep, and he always was. And I look at her, I go, "Of course he's wearing a beret and a turtleneck. Look at him, he's wearing a beret and a turtleneck."
What?
And the thing is, the worst, he's got Tourette's. And so,
so that part of it alone isn't enough to make him stand out. He wears a beret and a turtleneck in May.
Yeah, if I had something that would make me stand out like that, I might try to blend in with my other aspects.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he doesn't want to blend in. He might want to stand out. Clearly.
So, I noticed he's always had the tics and things, and he'll make like a sudden movement, and he'll breathe really hard. Like Jules used to do.
Right.
And so I didn't interact with him because he just didn't want to. When I go to the restroom, and then I'm washing my hands, and I hear, damn it. Oh my God. I hear I'm like, uh-oh. Trouble. And I look, and I see feet in the stall, and I go, someone's having a bit of an issue in there. I don't know what. And then the door swings open, and I see this beret, and oh boy, there it is. Okay, makes sense now. And his face is so red, he's just having a terrible time. And I kind of felt bad, and then I realized he was kind of a flake, and I said, I'm just getting out of here.
Maybe it wasn't anything to do with his Tourette's, though. Maybe he had his pants down.
Yeah.
Maybe he had big plans.
Maybe he had a real grumbler
for the reunion. He was actually grunting or
God.
into himself.
Yeah, who knows? Doing both at once.
But that thing, it was nonstop, 4 or 5 hours of reminiscing, and God, it was a crazy time warp.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was.
Was there like a podium like you always see on reunions on television? where people go up and he who's gone the farthest, and let's take a look at our most successful. And
no, they didn't
hey,
do that.
You were voted most likely to be in jail for touching a child. Where are you now?
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
There was one guy named Dave who, dude, when we went to high school and junior high, this guy was absolutely the biggest drug addict you could find. His mother would pull him up and she had issues too. There was all sorts of problems. And this guy, I'll never forget it because I won a mirror at Cedar Point, this Van Halen 1984 mirror, and I sold it to him for $10 because he said it was a good Coke mirror. Wow. I'll never forget it. It was like 9th grade. This guy has so turned it around, it's unbelievable. He started going to school and got an education, and he's like a computer wizard now.
No kidding.
How the hell is he? How do people shut that off?
No more cocaine.
Oh, my gosh.
Probably the exception.
So that was it was fun to just look at those people from afar.
Was there anyone there? Because this is what everybody hopes for the reunion. Anyone there who maybe wasn't nice to you, intentionally or unintentionally, either they were mean to you or they just ignored you, that now was a fat, gross loser that you were able to take joy in the fact that they seemed to be somewhat miserable in their life?
I didn't. I liked everybody there. There was no one. I had no issue with anyone, which is shocking, frankly.
It is.
So, yeah, there was nothing like that. And they all look pretty good. The class is kept together pretty well.
Except those 3 dudes.
Yeah, and one of those guys is a close friend of mine, and he just didn't want to come. Yeah, those 3 corpses were rough. I will not name them.
How many people you think were at your reunion?
It was over 100. Easy.
100 people from your class or 100 counting couples, spouses?
Oh, yeah, I would say that.
Still quite a bit,
I don't
considering
know.
it organized on Facebook.
Yeah. And the thing is, I walked up to... Did I ever tell you the story about that woman that punched me in the mouth? Ann? I never told that story?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I got lippy with some girl in high school, like 11th grade, named Ann, and she was a burnout, big time. She'd smoke and whatever. And I don't know why I would... why the hell I get on kicks, but decided I was the same person then as I am now, so you can just imagine if I see somebody, I'm going to make some comment, and I started to go after her for some reason, picking on her. And
when you say same guy as now, you mean a little taller with more gray hair back in high school.
Exactly. I'm the same a-hole now as I was then. And she grabbed me and pushed me up against a locker and took her and punched me right in the face. Flush punch. And everybody saw it.
Oh.
And it was historic. It was an ass kicking, and I wasn't about to strike her back, not because a man doesn't hit a woman, but because I was frightened.
You knew you weren't going to win that one. I don't blame you.
There was
been the same way.
There was no way. And I saw her. I found out later, or actually I knew she was there, but I avoided her. And then finally I got up the courage to her, and I walked up to her. I go, Ann, thanks for beating me up in high school. And she started cracking up. It was a great moment. It was actually pretty damn cool because we were just getting a real good laugh out of that. But there was a bit of a moment of trepidation when I walked up to her. I was like, "Oh, what if she does it again?"
And
well,
there's
that
no
would have been
reason
great
for her to do that, but it is human nature.
Whammo.
Good for you that you went up to her, though, because I'll bet she got – obviously, you both got a jolt out of it.
Got 2 women who will remain nameless to kiss.
You did?
Yes. They were taking their picture. They were like cheek to cheek. I go ahead, kiss. And they did it right there. What? No open mouth, though. Bit of a disappointment.
So you got a half a arb?
Slight arb. Slight arb, yeah.
That's pretty wild. And you had been to your 10-year reunion.
Uh-huh.
Joe, you're coming up. You got to have you're past your 5-year.
Yeah.
How old are you? 26? So you're a couple of years away?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Joe.
You going to go?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
Because everybody I still talk to all my high school buddies.
Yeah?
We all hang out when I go home.
Well, it sounds like a good excuse for a party, though.
We always party.
You could.
Yeah?
I suppose that's true.
Do you hang out with the whole class?
No.
You can see who's
just
a
the
loser.
people I want to see.
Well, yeah, but
that's half the fun.
I still keep in really good contact. 2 of my best friends have been friends with me since 7th grade. But it's still fun to go to reunions because then you see those people that you go, I haven't thought about that person in 20 years, and man, is she hot now? Or man, what a barfo. And it gives you something to talk about with the friends that you will continue to see.
What a barfo. So I've never gone to one.
Well, I don't even know how they would get a hold of me. No one knows where I am.
Well, yeah, sometimes that can be a challenge.
Yeah, that's true. Facebook.
I would talk to.
Aren't you a member of your high school group on Facebook or something?
No.
Middle school where you stopped going?
Not even
Nothing?
that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I have high school dropouts and cigarette smokers.
I already have 25 hours a week where I'm reminded that I was a loser and a nerd in high school in my own mind, and that's on the radio. I don't need to go and have everyone tell me how much of a nerd and a loser I was. I'm good,
man.
I'm good.
Yeah, but you don't have a mullet anymore. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who's improved. I've seen your high school pictures. You're going to blow everyone away.
I have new flaws.
Your pus face cleared up, too.
Yeah, that's true. Look, everybody, acne does go away, but I'm still a dick.
Hey, everybody, I can shave now without bleeding out.
You know, as soon as you said that, you would drop a shingle in their Coke or something.
Fever is a testament to what happens if you don't pick those sores on your face because you don't look like a golf shoe struck it later on in life. Stop picking your face.
I am pretty fortunate.
Yep.
In that particular
case.
Can't
do that.
Uh-huh.
I wish...
Well, yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing somebody whose cheeks like a big, giant G-spot.
There's part of... Show code says that I need to go to my parents' house and dig for zit-face photos and bring them back for the website.
Yeah.
But
hell, man.
Unshow code says I don't ever want to see them again. I actually don't care if you see them. I don't want to see them.
Were you really that bad? Like whiteheads on your ears and stuff?
Are you kidding me? Freeman's face was so pus-filled that when his dad's tractor needed lube, and he came over and made him look over the chain and think real hard.
He would just punch you in the face and grease would fly out.
Freeman, hey, they didn't call him Freeman. Hey, son, come over here. Come over here with a chain and wrinkle up your nose a little so we can get some goo on there.
One time in school, I noticed one, and I thought, I'm going to squeeze that out here in the bathroom. I had a hall pass during math class.
Yeah.
It was one of those where when the skin bursts, it's like a catapult going out of there, like pumpkin chucking contest in Rhode Island every year.
It made
and
a
went
clicking
flying
noise.
onto the mirror, and right after that, somebody came in and went, yeah, real good, all over the mirror.
Oh, no. It looks like a Van Gogh.
You actually hear the snap.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Yeah, right.
Oh.
I've got a bleeding, open face mine on my face.
You've got a face ulcer.
And
that's
there's
just
pumpkin
festering.
guts all over the mirror. It obviously was me.
Oh.
There is one photo. I can't imagine I didn't throw it away out of disgust. But I was at Stacey Buckley's house, and we were all over there having a good time.
Yeah.
And they were taking photos, and I did not want to be photographed because I was a monster. And I put my head down.
God, you must have been ugly.
And covered my eyes like you might do. And they gave me the picture later. And I think they did it to be nice. But I saw, as soon as they gave it to me, I'm like, why would you give this to me? This doesn't look good on any level. All you could see was my forehead, and it looked like constellations in the night sky. But not in a good way. There was no lumberjack leading an ox or something like that.
Oh, my God. That is a real bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nothing worse.
Turns out
Piece of face.
If I had washed my face once between 5th grade and graduation, I might have been okay. But
yeah, what was your method? Rub it into a pillow?
That's what it was. My pillow was clear like wax paper if it holds a cheeseburger for too long.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
See through your pillowcase.
Freeman would just wring his face out like a dog does when it's wet.
Just shake it.
Your mom would have to swab you like Zane does Lolo the bulldog.
When I first started getting them, my mom would want to pop them.
Your mom wanted to pop your pimples?
Yeah, I was never down for that because it hurt like a son of a bitch.
Cooking grease.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Save them off. Fried bread tonight. Come over to the pan.
I'm out of Crisco.
So in the past 5 minutes, we've implied that your dad uses your face juice for tractor grease and frying pan lube.
Well, we were subsistence farmers. You'd make do with what you have.
What are we having? Greg's face. Greg's face meat.
I kept the family through the lean years. I mean, the tractor was able to till the field where we would then grow things that we could fry in my face juice because of my face juice.
Those late 80s were a tough time on everyone.
By the way, if my mom heard this, she would feel really bad for me.
Well,
you know how it is. The family is like, oh.
Yeah, I don't like to hear about, stuff like that.
Well, it happened, and it's not happening now, so it's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay now.
If I was still covered in them, I wouldn't find it as fun.
I hear about your pizza face.
Here comes the gravy.
We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Road rage traffic.
Southeast Wealthy Street is closed between Eastern and Madison until Wednesday morning. Water main connection just west of Eastern. Detour to Cherry on Union. That's traffic.
Traffic this time brought to you by Dog Day in the Park. Weather, sunny to partly cloudy today. 66 the high. 45 downtown GR. Got some stories we'll tell you about the Cage Combat MMA on Friday night.
Dude. Man.
That was really something.
That was. Everybody's got to go to this. Trust us. You have to go to this. You will be entertained. We were sitting next to a young couple, and they're dating. She's really young, so is he. And she didn't know what to expect. She had a ball.
Yeah.
Even if you're the type that wouldn't normally see something like that or like something like you will have fun.
Mm-hmm.
If it ever, I know it's going to happen again.
Yeah. I was holding my breath on some of those fights, thinking like people were going to have a limb snapped right in front of us.
Oh, some of those body slams. I couldn't believe it.
Boy, yeah, there were some big ones.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Dogs, take him away and put things inside of him. Nice things? No, not nice things.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
We'll get to what Hot Wings thinks coming up a little bit later on this hour. About the first swine flu death in the United States, well, specifically in New York City, actually.
Yep.
Right before that, we'll tell you about a new theme park that's going to open up in China. I was reading an article the other day about 10 Chinese cities you've never heard of, and I think it was phrased as that are bigger than most American cities. And it was a list of all these cities that, back in most of them in 1980 were fishing villages of 1,000 or 2,000 people. And there was one that literally was just a fishing village in 1982, and now it has 11 million people living in it, and the skyline is above average compared to New York City or Chicago or the best skylines here. And there were all these other ones where it was ridiculous. But they have so many of them where they're building just to build because they have money. Like there was one that had a sugar beet research facility in it. That was one of the main industries for the town. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. Meanwhile, this story, we mentioned this on Friday and we didn't get to it. A student at Sickles High School in Citrus Park, Florida, near Tampa. This week, last week I should say, the students got their yearbooks. First thing you do when you get your yearbook often is go through and look for pictures of you and your friends.
Yeah, definitely.
A 16-year-old female junior turned to page 219 in the yearbook, and she noticed that one of the pictures in the clubs section showed her clam.
Wait a minute. You mean like just a...
Not like a close-up, but...
Oh, okay. That's what I was...
How would she know it was hers?
I thought it was a big, crazy mitt.
Seems she had chosen not to wear underwear to school that day, and when they gathered for the group photo, she was seated in a way that
nice beaver
showed it all.
Well, way to go, stupid. What do you expect?
That's a good way for mom and dad to find out that you don't wear underwear to school.
Oh, man.
She did know the photos were going to be taken that day, and she chose intentionally not to wear underwear because she did not want a panty line to show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you fling balls at a giant beaver.
Because when they take high school photos, they always take pictures of your ass. Everyone knows that.
Right.
Panty lines are really important to avoid.
My vagina.
So she says, quote, I started crying. I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. This is my junior year. It's so important. I didn't think I could go back to school knowing that everyone knew and had seen the picture. All the administrators are trying to downplay it and saying I should just laugh it off, but I'm humiliated.
Well, you did on purpose.
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
Was she good? Was she good looking? Was she hot?
Couldn't tell. The picture that I saw of it, they didn't show her face. So,
well, they need to do that.
According to the school district spokesperson, there are no plans to recall the yearbook because, quote, we don't believe there is exposure in the yearbook. It is a shadow.
Oh boy.
Plus, what are they going to do? Force everyone? I mean, there out.
How is this? You know how the law is. Somebody's going to get charged with child pornography.
If they prove that it was, I guess they technically could go after the school or whoever was distributing it. She said that she would not return to school this year and is considering transferring to a different school next year. You are really dramatically overreacting.
No, I don't know. Imagine that.
That'd be a pretty tough age for that to happen, no doubt about that.
I mean, imagine being that age and everybody sees your mitt and you still got another 2 months of the school year to go.
I'm sure girl that's rumored to have a frozen hot dog inside her, it feels really bad for girl whose clam was in the yearbook.
Yeah.
You know how it is. I'm sure guy who allegedly had sex with his dog is really disappointed for her.
All these things happen at your school or not?
Heard of them? The hot dog one did.
Really?
Yes.
What? Well,
I don't know that it happened. I know that everyone believed that it happened.
No, every school. I think most schools have that rumor.
Well, and the funny thing is, I always thought it was just our school. And then I was playing basketball at the Midland Community Center with a buddy of mine, and there was a girl playing there who was pretty cute but also pretty good at basketball, and he asked her out. And she ended up going to prom with him, and they dated for a while. And then he broke up with her because he found out at her school she was the girl with the frozen hot dog reputation.
Looks like Chuck's gonna put the hot dog in the bun.
And he wasn't cool with dating frozen hot dog girl, even if he didn't think it was true. Which I asked him, I said, you think it's true? No. Why'd you break up with her? Because everybody says it's true.
Well, you're just an idiot then.
There was another news story last week about yearbooks coming out. Yeah. And this girl, this is also bad. I don't blame her for not going back to school. She is transferring to a different school. When she opened the yearbook to her photo, instead of her name underneath, it just said fat.
Oh, no.
Fat.
Oh, boy.
What?
Oh, the yearbook editor is really in trouble on that one.
Fat.
Oh, gosh.
Fat.
If that happened to your kid, you would want to burn that kid's house down. Who was responsible for that?
It said fat. That's all it said.
It just said fat.
It just said fat.
You get an A for simplicity on that one. I gotta say, because anything more than that,
oh my gosh,
it's too much.
Fat.
Oh. This big fat pig is beautiful.
Oh.
Whoa.
I don't know,
man.
I just had weirdos in my school because when we got our senior photos taken, there was one girl that had
weirdo
had parachute pants and a Cabbage Patch Kid
in
her senior photo.
In her senior
I graduated
photo?
from high school, a decade after those were popular.
Yeah. Parachute pants were big when I was in 6th grade, meaning when you were in 5th grade.
Right.
So, holy cow, man. Way behind.
I almost said her name. I'm always afraid that
Yeah,
someone's going to know the person.
There's a chance.
Because it's one thing if
you never know.
That's
to
all
talk
right.
about things I did
That's
that
all
are
right.
embarrassing. It's another thing to have somebody driving to work and then them get to work and hear that they were the hot dog girl or something in high school, and all of a sudden all their coworkers are like, "Oh yeah, hey, so and so heard you like hot dogs."
You get sued. The show crashes and burns.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that same girl's listening and she had gone to work one day and said, "Yeah, I went to high school in Freebeer, yeah."
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, I'm ratting her out as a hot dog storage delivery unit.
Or what if she got really wide-eyed because just at that moment she was enjoying a frozen hot dog?
You mean everybody knew?
I've been trying to break this habit for so long.
1-800-947-3979.
Habit.
Just one more. One more Oscar Mayer.
We're getting reports from various people who went to school where their school also had a hot dog-related girl.
Really?
Yep. Well, mine did.
It did?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mine did
where
not.
It was,
I have never heard of this.
It wasn't in my class, but it was the class ahead of ours, and there was that one girl, and yeah, apparently she had to go to the doctor because it thawed out, and it broke. And,
yeah.
Everyone has that.
You got to use something with a handle.
Pretty classy.
Our school, our big thing was every year they'd do a group photo. They'd get everybody into the gym, and everyone would take. And my class had 325 people in it, so there were a lot of people. And you'd always have it would be like, "Where's Waldo?" to find the middle fingers that were being held up in the group photo.
Oh yeah, that's a sure thing.
That was the big one every year. Was who can work in a middle finger?
My school had 325 people in it. Ryan?
Yeah.
What's happening, Ryan?
Hello?
Yeah.
Go.
Ryan, go.
What did you call
I'm right
for?
here.
Right.
I know it,
Yep.
Ryan. What did you call
Good.
for?
That's excellent.
Well, my brother's senior yearbook, a kid was playing soccer and didn't have no underwear on or something.
Uh-huh.
And he was doing a roundhouse kick and his junk was just hanging out.
Oh.
He was from a different school, but then the teachers found out about it about a week after yearbooks went out.
Oh, that's great.
They were trying to
tell everyone to bring them in and mark it with a marker. They,
yeah, right. Yeah, everybody's going to do that.
Okay, I'll bring it in.
So at my brother's graduation party, all my dirty uncles and their friends had to, where's that picture at? We know it's in here somewhere. So
yeah. I wonder if that's the same yearbook Joe bought online on Craigslist.
He's looking at it right now.
Where is Joe? Where do you wander off to?
This is Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Do you want me to just shoot with this?
No, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we'll
here,
just hang
hold on.
out and.
See, what happens is when you call the radio show, when we say hello, the implication is that you would then go with your content just as if you called me at home and you were going to.
Maybe he was a first-time caller. Maybe he was nervous.
Invite me to something. You wouldn't, wait for me to say, so what's going on?
Yeah, that would be like, if we invited you to our house and you came to the front door and we opened the door and said, hey, come on in. And then you said, do you want me to come in now?
Yeah.
Let's give him another shot.
Yeah.
Sure?
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Dan.
Hi there.
Hey.
In my middle school, there was a guy. He was the hot dog guy.
Oh.
It was a guy that was labeled the hot dog guy.
Right.
Frozen hot dogs.
He was the guy that was the hot dog guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you helped spread the rumor.
Oh, well, see, I wasn't involved in spreading the rumor. I would have been kicked out of school, too. But he was at a party in middle school, and other friends witnessed it, and he even admits the fact that he did it.
Oh no! Right in the keister.
Now, how many?
Right.
This is obviously many years ago. Do you still run into this guy occasionally?
No, I haven't actually seen him since middle school.
Because
it was only maybe about 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's a guy that can't go to the reunions. I mean, you've ruined the reunions for yourself because you are always going to be hot dog guy. Like when Zane, you were
thrown in jail guy,
Adidas jumpsuit guy. Yeah, but you weren't that at the reunion. But if you were hot dog guy,
yeah, they didn't. Yeah, here's an email from Paul in Dallas, Texas. My senior yearbook had a photo of one of my friends in mid-stride jumping a hurdle. Now, any normal person appreciates an action photo, but in this particular photo, his gobbler was clearly dangling outside of his shorts.
Gobbler.
One of the funniest photos ever. That from Paul.
1-800-947-3979. Luke in New York. Hi, Luke.
Yeah, hey, I went to school in upstate New York here to a small military school, and we had a guy who thought it was a good idea to make love to his couch and videotape it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And somehow that leaked out into the school.
That's a bad decision right there. See, every school has deviant activity guy or girl.
Yep.
It definitely happens. If your school doesn't have one, the rumor is about you.
They also have a guy with pedophile voice.
Yeah. Who's that one?
That's what he sounded like.
Oh, that guy right there? Bummer for him.
He was talking about himself.
He was doing it. Our voices are going to be on the videotape because the radio's out in the background. That's not so good. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. 97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. It's 52 now, downtown GR. Looking forward to seeing JT after he was up on the McDonald's the last couple days. We were here for the work week with a million penny roof set.
Yeah.
See if he got a tan.
Workplace got a whole lot uglier today.
Mostly sunny, chance of ugly here in the studio.
What a mongrel.
That can't be very fun, driving to work.
Yeah.
Hearing how ugly you are. We'll have to ask him.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
You look like you're living out of your car.
Yeah, I know, but I got everything in there I need.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
We'll get to what Hot Wings thinks coming up in just a few minutes. Don't forget Thursday, Dumber Than Zane Trivia presented by Cat Footwear. A near-record jackpot, $3,200 on the line. With a win, you would tie the jackpot for the highest jackpot we've ever seen at $3,600. Okay. 2 wins away from $4,000 as the giveaway. That's been a goal. I believe at one point when you were getting this high last time.
Started getting cocky.
Yeah, I believe you announced you were going to push it all the way to $10,000.
Yeah, I think that is true. Yeah.
Now, that would be something. If you ever did that, I mean, it's already praiseworthy. You've won a number in a row. So we'll play that Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Chance for you to win a lot of money, $3,200 in this case. Nice. So visitors to China could get a glimpse of China's first ever theme park dedicated to sex.
What? Sex theme park.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have thought this would happen in China. This seems like something that would happen in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
They're
feeling that Japan is a bit of a sexually deviant culture with very open thoughts towards Japan. I was watching a video from a Japanese game show where 3 contestants were vying to answer questions, and the person who answered correct last had to get on a caster on like ball bearings and stuff, and had to propel himself using his hands on these handles at the beginning of the track, and had to go 15 feet on the track with no brakes or nothing to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
And if he stopped between, say, 13 feet and 15 feet, he won. But if he went to the end of the track, it would be signified by his face going face first into a naked woman's bare chest, and then he would be electrocuted while he laid on the cart. That was the game show. And so there he is, and he's slowing down, and he's very close, and then he goes face first into boobs, and then all of a sudden the cart electrifies, and he jumps off like an idiot.
Oh my gosh!
Who sits around and thinking these? This game is perfect for this televised game show, except it needs boobs and electricity. Perfect.
Move there.
Seems pretty
excellent.
Awesome. Well, in this particular case, the Loveland, which is actually written in English on Loveland, it's billed as China's first ever sex theme park. It has a sign at the beginning that is a giant revolving model of a woman's legs and lower torso clad only in an unflattering crimson thong, as it's described. It's an oversized replica of a set of genitals there as well.
Is there pictures anywhere?
There is just this one. Just a second there. It says, sex is a taboo subject in China. This looks like a great theme park. It basically is a sign outside of a place that looks like it should be condemned.
Oh, my, what a dump.
Let's take a ride on Missionary.
Oh, my gosh.
I got another image.
Seems pretty classy. Oh, wow. That is a giant.
What?
That is a
this
giant phallic.
big, giant flopper.
Quite a phallic on that one.
It says the fact that the park has been built shows the change and that open attitudes to sex are now mainstream. Lee said that while disapproval of sex stemmed from religion in the West, in China it was largely rooted in traditional focus on the family instead of individual enjoyment, leading people to deplore premarital and extramarital sex. But now that they're changing, they're open to it. You could never open a theme park dedicated to sex in the United States. I mean, the law wouldn't prevent you, but people would freak out if that happened.
Yeah, it would. It would, for sure.
Not necessarily a bad thing, because this doesn't exactly seem particularly classy. Speaking of classy, in the next segment, audio of people that are physically in love and lusting for their cars. This is maybe the biggest creeps we've ever played the audio of on the show. I know that's saying something. 1-800-947-3979. You can email freebeerandhotwings@hotmail.com.
Here's what Hot Wings thinks. Hot Wings. What Hot Wings thinks.
Free beer, Zane, and listeners. New York City has just recorded its first swine flu death, and the news media's in full celebration mode. They couldn't be happier, because hype is fun. But of course, that's all it is. The exact same number of people died falling off a ladder yesterday. You know, roughly 1. I don't see the news going all cuckoo over that. Where's the demand for safer ladders? Plus, as is the case every time someone dies from the flu, according to officials, the dude had a history of medical problems that may have put him at greater risk. Really? Now, if my math is right so far, between 15 and 20,000 people in the U.S. have died this year from just, regular flu. Where's the alert? Also, I drove around all day yesterday looking for all the signs and warnings telling me of the dangers of engaging in an activity that kills 41,000 people a year. Driving. I didn't see any.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the fear? Where's the outrage? Considering that this guy had a bunch of medical issues, including gout. True.
Gout?
Yeah, saying that he died just because of the swine flu would be like a firefighter's cause of death being listed as secondhand cigarette smoke because he went to the bar sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God the news has a reason to talk about swine flu again. I get sick of them updating me on the economy or national security or wars. I hate that stuff. I can only hope that they discover how many people die every year because of cereal, or wagon wheels, or fingernails, or tile. That'll give them a new avenue to spew out stupidity, and then I'll have something else to write about. Mm-hmm. I'm Hot Wings, and that's what I think.
That's your new opinion from Hot Wings. More of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show is next.
79 GRD Road Rage Traffic.
Southeast Wellesley Street closed between Eastern and Madison Avenues until Wednesday morning. Waterman connection just west of Eastern Detour to Cherry. On Union, that's traffic.
Morning, 9:01. Time for your Free Beer and Hot Wings news update. Sunshine. Maybe a few clouds today, but otherwise not bad. 66 for a high. It's about 45 now. I'm Hot Wings. And a 22-year-old Grand Rapids man is expected to be formally charged with murder today in connection with the beating death of his great-grandmother back in November. Police said the body of 80-year-old Ruth Boyd was found in her home and said a blunt object was used to kill her. Police said it was her great-grandson, Ryan Ward, who discovered her body. The Kent County Prosecutor's Office issued a warrant for Ward's arrest, and Grand Rapids Police took him into custody Friday night. He's being held at the Kent County Jail without bond. Ward will be arraigned later today. Apparently his family is pretty shocked about the whole thing. Saw them on the news.
I bet.
Yeah, they were like, what?
Can't imagine.
So, in sports, pretty good start for the old Red Wings, winning game 1 5-2 over the Chicago Blackhawks.
Take that, Golden Throat, Leno Kelly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
your
that's
stupid
what you get
Blackhawks
for
gear.
Dumb jersey on Friday.
Stupid fat-headed idiot.
That's what happens. We turn on you when you break from the ranks. You're either with us or against us.
Yeah. Go back to Chicago.
Dan Cleary with 2 scores in that. Michael Samuelsson, Johan Franzen also scoring for the Wings. Game 2 is tomorrow night at 7:30, once again in Detroit. Meanwhile, the Tigers licked their wounds from their series against the Twins, in which they got swept, and then came back to sweep the Oakland A's. Huge numbers put up with that. The Tigers scoring 34 runs against the A's in their 3-game series. Yesterday, Curtis Granderson and Ramon Santiago, each with 3-run homers. For the Tigers, who had 13 hits, Armando Galarraga giving up 5 earned runs on 4 hits and 3 walks, forcing an early exit there. Zach Miner getting the victory for that. Tigers have the night off. They'll play host to the Rangers for a 3-game series coming up. The Whitecaps won yesterday as well. They've won 4 in a row now. They are 25-10 on the year.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings show.
It's super creepy. Ooh.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Later this hour, what happens if you think you see a real live Black Panther at a children's playground in an area where Black Panthers aren't found, specifically suburb of Detroit, Warren, Michigan?
The actual cat, not the militant group from the 70s.
Right.
That's the crib, man.
Yeah. That's why I clarified, because it might actually be a Black Panther.
That's my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have played in this park.
I'm sure I did. Well, maybe not. Warren's a pretty big town.
Yeah. We'll have that coming up for you a little bit later on this hour. We'll probably also this hour, in fairness, revisit Zane's breaking news about baseball manager from the Seattle Mariners, Don Wakamatsu.
Oh, is he that Japanese guy?
That was, according to Zane's diligent research and breaking news team on Friday. He gave us the Don Wakamatsu update, someone who was completely off Hot Wings and I's radar.
Mm-hmm. And most of America.
Turns out the facts were a little sketchy.
This was expertly delivered, this setup, and then death blow.
I still can't believe that you realized that you were going to be targeted just by me writing Japanese-speaking baseball manager.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, I thought you'd look at that and go, oh, we've got some audio of the Japanese-speaking baseball manager.
Of course, I'm not surprised, because if he was just speaking Japanese, there'd be no reason to play it, other than going, look, you were right, he's speaking another language.
Unless there was,
no,
reporters involved or something like that.
If he's trying to speak Japanese or trying to speak English.
If it was real broken.
And he sounded terrible talking about a game, that would be funny.
That would have been great.
I don't know what it was, but something stood out to me on the show plan. It said Japanese-speaking baseball announcer. It made me go, I'll bet you I have made a fatal error.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Boy, we've all been there where we've reported something as, oh, that's a fact. Yeah, you won't believe it. And then you find out that it is, in fact, not true. And it, in many cases, can't be further from the truth. All three of us have done it. All four of us have done it at one point or another. That's a bad feeling. Also, if you go to pictures on freebeerandhotwigs.com, you can see photos of Zane's newest fashion accessory, his waiter's jacket, with big pockets on the front. Actually, everybody keeps saying that it looks like something from a leisure suit or something Mr. Furley would have worn. It is a white jacket that Zane on Friday said to us, what do you guys think of this in the office? And that opened up the floodgates.
It's no different than a white jean jacket, if there is such a thing.
It is a similar style to a white jean jacket.
Cut that way.
All right, now, I had been told that jean jackets are coming back in, so you might be on the cutting edge.
I know. Well, I know I'm not, because I never knew they left.
Could be worse. You could be that guy that's wearing denim pants, blue jeans, and then a denim shirt with a blue jean jacket.
There was a couple.
It's a bad look.
There was a couple idiots at the class reunion didn't know how to dress. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And this is coming from me.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to dress.
No.
I know they really don't know how to dress.
I'm not exactly fashionable, so I try not to throw too many stones. But I do enjoy a good pile-on. That's pretty fun. 1-800-947-3979. So we've talked before about a variety of different weirdos. And this was actually sent in by a listener. I believe Mandy sent this in, I think. If not, I apologize. But when we talked last week about men who were in love with female bodybuilders and how creepy they all were.
Yeah.
And it reminded her of a documentary she had watched about specifically men, but it may in fact be men and women, but I think it's mostly men, that are in love with automobiles. It's called mechanophilia. At least that's what I think it's called. So here is an intro to exactly what that is.
Many years ago, in an ordinary house in an ordinary British town, a most extraordinary love affair was being conducted. A young man, we'll call him George, had become obsessed with another family member. From a strict religious background, George was racked with shame and guilt. His passionate trysts took place in the dead of night. The location? His dad's garage. For George's lover was the family car. An Austin Metro. George then could claim to be the world's first metrosexual.
Is this a gag? Is this like on The Onion or .com or something? It sounds so...
What do you think, Joe?
It was off BBC.
It appeared to be a BBC documentary.
There's 6 parts to it on YouTube.
It looked
Each
legitimate.
part is like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
You had to sift through a lot of this to get these highlights, didn't you?
Yes.
Was
Actually,
it
no.
painful?
I mean, I watched probably a good 25 minutes of it.
All right.
The fact that this guy, and they say he came from a strict religious home as opposed to an unreligious home where it would be cool to go out and bang around with the car.
Yeah, you crazy heathens. Car banging.
Here they talk about a different guy who's in love with a beetle.
This is Vanilla. She's a 74 standard beetle. And I named her Vanilla because it's kind of a sexy, sensuous name, and it's a...
Just so everybody's clear, I love you. If you love your car, it's like you take care of it and wash it and change the oil. We're talking about he has sexual feelings towards his car.
Right. Yes. He doesn't love his car. He's in love with his car.
But he makes love to his car.
Right, yes. He has consummated his car love.
Okay.
She's white.
Edward has never had an intimate relationship with another human.
Really?
But he's lived with Vanilla since 1982.
Almost every inch of her body, there's a certain sense of beauty. Everything about her is very sensuous to me. And I enjoy holding her. I enjoy being part of her. And
Joe, is this, when you were recording this, was that the part where I walked in and the man was licking the car?
Yeah.
You can hear it in the background a little bit. He's licking the fenders.
He's tonguing the car.
Of this car, and doing so in a way like you would with your significant other.
When if you were like yodeling in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
And like this little area here, she's got like a a certain curve to it that really is perfect. I'll be doing this, and it's almost impossible, to resist her. And I get carried away, I must admit, but she's my lover. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
She's my lover.
He doesn't see anything wrong with that.
God, I mean,
This is sincerely broken.
if these guys are going to be doing their cars, you'd think they'd at least pick good ones. A Beetle is like the fat girl of the room.
So you don't have a problem with them boning their cars. You have a problem with them boning that car.
No. I have a problem with them boning cars, but you'd think that if a guy was this broken mentally, he'd at least pick like an old classic Jaguar or something that is considered over time to have sexy lines, so to speak, or very classic, or a cool car. But an Austin Metro is like a Yugo.
Yeah.
That's what an Austin Metro looks like.
I don't think that a guy is more broken or less broken based on the car that he's having sex with. I think anyone who has sex with anything other than another human is the same degree of brokenness. Way to take this to a crazy sub-level that no one really cares about.
Hard to believe that the guy that was hung up on the model is the same guy that when we handed him the Playboy went, wow, there's some really nice cars in here.
Yeah, thank you, car and driver man. Now shut up.
Is that why you only make love to your Corvette and not your GMC pickup?
I don't make love to my cars.
The least thing he could hit. And if it was a Chevelle, it may have been a little bit more acceptable because of sexy lines.
Now, come on.
No,
telling me that...
I think it's just as devious, whether it's a GTO or whatever.
Well, that's what I said, too.
Okay.
I just said you figure if somebody's going to be deviant, at least they'd pick a better car to be deviant
You're
with.
just
like a Corvette.
Yeah, like my Corvette.
Would you be flattered if a man made love to your car?
No. I'd be very angry.
You do, don't you? You do it.
The same sort.
No, I don't.
Is that what they do at Corvette Club? Because we haven't been able to figure out what you do.
I think there is a lot of car sex that happens at the Corvette Club, but I haven't joined one yet, so I'm not sure.
All right.
That turned unfortunately, didn't it?
Here's another clip.
Is Hot Wings in this one?
Three of us can make out.
I don't have sex with my car.
Three of us can make out pertinent observations of this next clip.
By the time I turned 13, the famous Corvette Stingray of 63 came out, and that car, oh my God.
It is Hot Wings.
See, there's nothing wrong with that guy.
Pure sex.
He talks about self-gratification to this car.
Just an incredible machine.
Yeah.
And that, I think, happened right at the time when my sexual energies were just developing as a teenager.
Yeah.
And it seemed to ignite that into a whole different realm of appreciation for the design of cars and how I felt towards them. It wasn't until maybe a couple of years later that I got so excited looking at them that I would actually incorporate that visual and that fantasy into my masturbation.
Oh, no! I knew it was coming.
Oh, God.
I still didn't want to hear it.
Last word.
The thing is,
the last word.
My masturbation.
That guy would sound like an absolute creep if he was talking about a woman that way. The way he discovered his love.
Masturbation. Masturbation.
All right. What a classy fella.
Masturbation. Masturbation.
He's got this in the CD player.
Yeah, this is what he listens to.
Masturbation.
Over his Stingray.
Yeah. He's getting all busy with the tailpipe.
Masturbation.
Sitting on the shifter.
That guy could have an affair with your car.
Masturbation.
No, mine wouldn't do it for him. He's got to have that classic.
Apparently.
All right.
This seems implausible, but I don't think it is.
No, this is seems like a legitimate news story. Edward apparently sings a poem he wrote about his car, Vanilla.
I bet that's good.
I like how in every clip you hear birds chirping in the background, and then this music will kick in.
Vanilla Beetle of 74. Your creamy body I adore. Flesh and metal overwhelm. Man and car become one.
Yeah, it's really
when
good.
You're parked in my yard where my sun sets, freed from the light of day and dark, I leave my loving seed.
Oh, no! Oh. I hope he was talking about sunflowers.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. It's terrible.
Freed from the light of day and dark, I leave my loving seed.
Can you imagine buying a car from one of these people and you find out later?
Your Carfax, the vehicle history report is loaded. Yes, this car has a high glaze factor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or what if you go to the ad and you go, and it says 1985 Corvette. This thing is loaded. You get there and it doesn't even have air conditioning. I thought you said it was loaded. It is.
It is.
Fully
It's
loaded.
completely
Oh, my
loaded.
gosh.
Some here. This is Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
I used to work with a guy. His name was Ty, so that indicates something right there. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, good point.
well, he had a friend named Chris, and they're in the Corvette Club, and that's all they talked about. I swear, it probably was Hot Wings.
You think so?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You and your friend Ty Hot Wings would talk about Corvettes and sex?
Making bukkake on the back seat, you know, and
For
wiping it.
God's sake.
Well, no, I mean, that was a great call.
It was a great call.
Hey, that's a great call. Seriously, best ever.
Joe, are we going to... This last clip where it says Jordan describes how people make love to their cars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that,
you should be able to play it.
That's going to be okay?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Some
Final
weirdo stuff we got
clip.
here.
Jordan describes what Freeber was just talking about, how people make love to their cars.
A lot of it, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're, between my cars, yeah, I have had sex with them, but, how do you do that? Well, there's pretty much any way you can really find. I mean, the attraction alone is halfway there. Any sort of sexual interaction is sex, Some people just like to, rub themselves or whatever, like within the creases of the car or something, or just hug it or sort of make out with it and stuff. There's some people who just flat out like to their car in the tailpipe, if that works. I mean, hell, I've heard of people that have weird fetishes with all kinds of things. Some people probably like to have sex with toasters.
Or people.
I'm not sure how you would do that, but some people probably do.
I'm very aroused.
Wow.
And the storyline of this documentary is they were uniting these two mechanophiles, which is what they're called. They were bringing them to a giant car show in California.
Oh, God.
And creepy John C. Reilly, the first guy, him talking in the car while he was going there about he was hoping to make love to many cars at the car show somehow.
Can you imagine those car show guys are pretty hardcore? They don't even like you leaning on their car.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they caught this guy in the tailpipe.
You can't even
kill them.
You're right, man. Those guys, they're very particular about their cars. They put so much time and effort into it. You get some guy comes and starts banging it on the fender. They'll just beat him down right there.
Remember earlier when we were talking about Zane's jacket, and we said Joe could wear it with no shirt for some sort of Joe stunt. I think this is the one, producer Joe's car infatuation. And you have to go out and lick strangers' cars and make out with them.
No. I don't like
car's pretty.
You wear my jacket. You go buy your own jacket. Don't touch my jacket. You'll end up getting beaten up.
Joe, what do you say?
You go buy your own gay jacket.
I'll do that when Hot Wings comes out of the closet as a mechanophile.
I don't have sex with
I don't
cars.
even know how the hell to put into perspective what it is you said. It just sounded strange to me.
He said you should only make love to beautiful cars like Corvettes.
I don't think that's how I said it.
Well, we can check the tape.
It might not have been just. Well, that isn't what you were saying in the office. But
I think I said that.
There it is. Oh yeah, once it's said in the office, it's
yep.
Yeah, it's
practically stone tablets.
Damn office.
We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Hey, for you. 97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative of the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show, and GRD presents the Rock Band Smackdown. How would you like your virtual band to open up for Powerman 5000 on the 23rd at Club 131 inside the Deltaplex? You and 3 of your friends show the world how you're the video game masters of rock. All you need to do is go to WGRD.com. Tell us why your band should open the show. Top 10 entries will get to compete in the Rock Band 2 tournament at the Cambridge House this Thursday starting at 8. The band with the top score gets to open up for Powerman 5000 by playing songs from Rock Band 2.
Unbelievable.
On stage. That's scary as hell. You also get to watch the show with GRD, with the GRD Alternate Chicks in the special VIP section. WGRD.com for a list of songs that will be in the tournament. All participants got to be at least 21 years of age. Deadline to entry by 3 p.m. on Wednesday.
Back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Freed from the light of day and dark, I leave my loving seed.
Online at freebeerandhotwings.com.
Thursday, Demer the Zane Trivia presented by Cat Footwear. That's a chance for you to win $3,200. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central when we play that game. That is Thursday. Later on this hour, you'll hear a moment where early in the show, we had an update on some breaking news that Zane had shared. Breaking news, tongue-in-cheek. But he had shared a factoid last week about baseball manager Don Wakamatsu out of the blue. Turns out, may have been some misreading in the article. A little.
That surprised no one. Surprises no one. No question.
Now, I did not know at the time that what you were saying was wrong. I remember thinking to myself, I can't believe I haven't heard that.
Right.
But I don't watch Sports Center every day like I did in college.
Right.
I don't. I'm not as tuned in to, especially teams that aren't on my radar.
Well, the thing
especially the Mariners.
The thing that I thought weird at the time when I revealed that big get, if you will, was that his first name was Don.
That was the other thing when we were doing it, and then I thought, well, maybe it's a nickname.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally guys come over here and they just, whatever is close to their original name, they'll just sort of adopt an American name. It's pretty common.
So good old sports dude Eric Zane decided to run with the story, even though he read one paragraph and completely read it wrong, apparently. And, well, we'll let the bit itself tell the tale. It's pretty ridiculous that I was so stupid. Well, no, it's not. It's normal, frankly.
This is pretty above average. 1-800-947-3979. You can email freebeerandhotwings at hotmail.com. This weekend, there was a news story about a Black Panther being found at a playground. That's scary. You don't want to have a Black Panther waiting there to eat a child. It's very scary. This is a news report on it. The audio's a little rough, but it'll do the trick. Here it is.
Somebody went to great lengths to fool people into thinking that there was a dangerous wild animal in Warren.
The caller found it hiding inside a concrete drain. In the dark, the creature looking menacing. Convincing enough to concern Warren police, taking 10 officers off the street until one finally shot it with a taser gun, only to learn the panther is really just a stuffed animal.
It was a stuffed animal. 10 cops showed up. They gather around and they're probably, all right, come on out there. Come on.
This is my hometown. This doesn't surprise me. This is the same police force that descended on our scavenger hunt and punched me in the mouth.
That had you weren't you face down on the pavement that time with the gun?
Not on the pavement. No, didn't do that. That was a different time.
Oh,
different.
That did happen.
Same cop agency. Different incidents.
Okay.
I had a few cop run-ins.
Maybe a couple.
And it's not because I was, hell, by the time I graduated, I had a cop pull a gun on me. Warren cop. Spent a night in jail. Numerous minor and possession charges. Numerous speeding tickets.
That time, what did you do when the cop pulled the gun on you?
I was speeding through a neighborhood at about 65 miles an hour on a rainy night. And I was so frustrated that I was pulled over because I had a restricted license that I thought it would be accommodating if while wearing, remember I was a big fan of Run DMC, a very long leather jacket down to my knees, I thought it would be accommodating if I jumped out of the car with my hands in my pockets and started walking towards the approaching cop.
You really could have been shot.
Yeah.
Who rather quickly pulled his service revolver and got into the assassin stance and said, "Freeze!" I go, "What?"
Did you pee a little? I would have.
He goes, "Slowly remove your hands from your pockets." His gun on me. I slowly took my hands off. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm coming to see you."
What? I'm trying to be helpful.
He goes, "Don't move." I come over. He grabs me, pushes me down onto the car. "Give me your hands." He cuffs me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he searches me. All right, no, he might not have cuffed me. My hands are on the car, and then he searched me. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, I told you. I explained it to him, just like I'm explaining it to you. He goes, "No, son, you don't do that."
In your mind, you thought you were going to be helpful and win favor with him, right?
I'm going to save him a few steps.
A lot of jerks get pulled over, and they just sit in their car, and they make you walk all the way up here. I'm meeting you halfway. Don't give me a ticket, please.
Learned a very
You got it.
valuable
Did you
lesson.
get a ticket?
Uh-huh.
Probably because of that.
Plenty. Anyway, let's continue. Again, they have tased a stuffed animal.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? You want the,
Let's go with
the
this is the commissioner on why they tasered the stuffed animal.
It's only a 5-second clip.
We did what we had to do. We want to keep the city safe. That's the bottom line.
Now, in their defense,
that's
it was
adorable.
It was dark, and the animal was inside like a tube or whatever.
Your cops are stupid, and you're playing that. That's very nice of you.
Listen to the 911 call about that. This is what kicked off the whole event. This is from someone. No doubt.
Sorry.
No doubt the person who put the stuffed animal in the tube in the first place.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, I think I see a Black Panther over here.
Yep.
A Black Panther?
I'm telling you, I'm not playing games. It's huge. It's like a 150-pound cat.
Okay, are you there now?
Yeah. And I went back from behind it, shined a light in there, and it's in there.
We have got to see this picture somehow. Of this
I saw the video.
Did they show what the thing looked like?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It
it's
just
a
looks like
stuffed
an
Black
animal's-
Panther. Now, if you shined
Yeah.
a light in there, I can't imagine you wouldn't see it not
Flinch?
move.
It didn't. How could you
It's
see
a
it not
stuffed
move?
animal.
How could you not tell that it was frozen?
Because if there's an animal inside of a drain pipe, what was it? Was it like a tube, like a playground tube that the kids would play in? That's what it looked like on the news.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And
it says an old cement drain pipe, so I'm
yeah.
sure that's what it was.
Yeah, that kids would play in or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't like a working drainage thing.
That's not what it looked like to me.
Okay.
But I grew up on our playground. We had tractor tires and old cement drainage tubes to play in. So
Yeah, no, we had those too. So I
Well,
think
that
that's
makes
common.
it even worse because if it's out in the open like that, it should
Yeah.
be easy to.
you could shine a light from either end, you'd think.
Anything.
But any animal, unless it's injured badly, if you shine a light on it, it's going to move. It would react to the light. And this one didn't move. So then
So
they
they
were like,
tased it.
They tased it.
They tased
Can you
the
imagine
stuffed animal.
How stupid they felt when they tased it and it didn't move, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Well, this is the
That's one tough
stupidest
cat.
police force in America. The Warren, Michigan police are stupid.
It seems pretty bad.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't seem good, that's for sure. 1-800-947-3979. You can email freebeerandhotwings@hotmail.com. In a moment, audio of the news update about the Seattle Mariners manager. You might be saying, why are they doing this? Well, it's because Zane brought a factoid to the table on Friday that seemed outrageous and hard to believe. Turns out, both things were true. We'll get to that. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
GRD.com.
97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we'll talk about cage combat,
God, was
MMA
that
on
fun.
Friday night.
That was so much fun. I did not see that coming. I thought we'd have a good time, but, man.
I sent a text to former intern Milton at like 10:30 that night because he has a couple friends that have done stuff like that before. And I said, dude, you have to come with us next time. And he replied, I can't believe I got a text from Free Beer on a Friday night this close to 11 o'clock. What's going on? And I said, well, I'm at MMA. But the thing is, it illustrates I wasn't getting tired because normally on a Friday night by that
Get
point,
tired.
I'm like, I'm tired. I'm going home. I could have stayed for 3 more hours. If they had 15 more fights, I would have stayed until they were all done.
It was great entertainment. I don't care if you're a man, woman. Man, it was terrific.
We'll give you some specific details about what went on.
The girl fight. Oh.
It's amazing.
And now back to the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Equal rights for all, except blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Jews, gays, women, Muslims, everybody who's not a white man. And I mean white. So no Italians, no Polish, just people from Ireland, England, and Scotland. But only certain parts of Scotland and Ireland. Just full-blooded whites. No, you know what? Not even whites. Nobody gets any rights. America.
It's Tomorrow we'll tell you what Producer Joe's stunt for the week's going to be. I don't know if we'll spin the wheel or if it'll just be a pick-em situation. We'll decide that later.
Okay.
Also, tomorrow, Stephen Hawking sings. We'll do that early on the show. Earlier today, we actually sort of looked back at something that happened on Friday. And when it happened on Friday, it was a small event. Interesting. And we got some good laughs out of it. And we got an email from a listener sometime yesterday, late yesterday, or early this morning, maybe before the show, that said, hey, I don't know if you guys realize this. You probably already busted Zane's chops on this. And so I started reading the email, and I went, wait a minute. And it was after Zane shared a story about this Don Wakamatsu, who's the manager of the Seattle Mariners.
I couldn't even pronounce his name when we did the bit originally.
No. Yeah.
But you had been in the bathroom, as you'll hear, and you came back and shared something that, if it were true...
I remember when I was sitting there, and I read it, and I go, I got something for a few minutes to kill on the air. Maybe before What Hot Wings thinks, I'll unleash this one.
And that's what happened.
All right.
It was last week that Zane, you busted out some information. Just in the context of the show, you kind of just said, hey, you know what, there's a story about this manager from the Seattle Mariners. And I don't follow the Mariners hardly at all.
No, and that's what I was based on. I was like, did you know that the guy from the Seattle Mariners speaks very little English? He does? Really? Is that true? Yeah. I just read this article. So I immediately asked, how does that go if he has to – it involved several minutes of, well, how does he rush to the mound and argue?
Yeah. This is how you broke the news to us.
Did you know that this manager of the Seattle Mariners is Japanese?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Did you know that the manager of the Seattle Mariners doesn't speak English?
What? He doesn't? Who's the manager?
Something Watha Watha. Whatever. He's some Japanese dude.
So he's got he manages and then there's a translator next to him everywhere he goes?
Yes. I did the same thing. How does this work?
That's got to be hard enough when you're a manager and you got guys who speak Spanish on the team. Or a player who speaks Japanese, but when you're the guy leading the show.
Well, what happens when he goes to dispute a call? Does the interpreter have to go with him? Act mad. I mean, seriously.
That was the update on the manager of the Seattle Mariners, who was appointed last November as the manager, Don Wakamatsu. Here he is addressing reporters after a game this weekend.
I'm honored to have a history and to carry that on in a sense. My parents, my grandparents have a long history here up in the Northwest.
Technically, he's addressing reporters when he was announced as the manager.
That I'm very proud of, and I'm proud to represent some of the things that they've went through in their lifetime. So, yes, I think if I can set somewhat of a stepping stone for future Japanese Americans and just the equality in baseball, I'm glad to wear that or burden that torch.
So that was manager Don Wakamatsu. Again, this is Zane's breaking news.
Did you know that this manager of the Seattle Mariners is Japanese?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Did you know that the manager of the Seattle Mariners doesn't speak English?
I'm honored to be...
He has learned English so well since November.
Oh, my gosh.
November?
Wilbur.
Since Thursday.
Wilbur Donald Don Wakamatsu. Wilbur Donald is a funny name for a Japanese guy.
Wilbur Donald, yeah.
Born February 22nd, 1963 in Hood River, Oregon. Is a former catcher and coach in Major League Baseball. Wakamatsu was named the manager of the Mariners in November of 2008, becoming the 16th manager in club history. Born to a Japanese father and an Irish-American mother, the first Asian-American manager in Major League Baseball.
Well, all right. Now, you see, this is really doubly, triply bad for me because I don't have the ability. I don't know how to operate this newfangled internet thing to be able to search for an archive of something I read. I read it on a... oh, boy. I read it
on fake news
on a hard copy of the USA Today.
Yeah,
which I no longer have. I remember sitting on the toilet reading it here at the radio station, saying, "I can't believe that." And it specifically talked about I swear, it talked about Ken Griffey Jr. being back with the Mariners, and how he has to speak to an interpreter.
Let me read the article to you.
Oh, awesome! You found it. All right, vindicated. Right here. This is it. I have the proof. How did you find it?
Someone sent it to us.
Oh, sweet. Thank God. Thank you.
Or you could have just gone under USA Today search and typed in Wakamatsu.
I'm telling you, I did it. Hot wings? No, you didn't. Did you find it too?
Let's see. Okay, that's what I did. Look at the first article. What does it say?
The article. Griffey Wakamatsu make the game fun again for Mariners.
Yep.
Okay, well, here you go. Look at it. It talks about the translator.
Ken Griffey Jr. quietly walks over to a Japanese-speaking translator.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Suzuki, standing behind the batting cage in Minnesota last weekend,
the article.
nods towards Seattle Mariners rookie manager Don Wakamatsu and asks, how much Japanese does he really know? He has heard that Wakamatsu, the first Asian-American manager in Major League Baseball and known for his calm demeanor, can barely speak the language. Suzuki dances around Griffey's question, but when pressed concedes, good. Now he teaches me some Japanese swear words. See, the language they're talking about is Japanese. He's asking the Japanese translator how much Japanese the manager who was born in America knows.
He is?
Yes.
Hold on a minute.
Maybe we could read this for you again.
Would you?
Maybe if I try.
Hot Wings, you try it.
I'll try it.
Because
Okay.
to me, it sounds like the guy doesn't speak English. He's got a GD translator next to him.
All right.
That's the article.
Okay. Now listen
It
intently.
is the article.
Watch my lips if you need to.
You know what? Stop insulting me. I'm telling you, it reads a certain way if you're only half paying attention.
You were reading it while on the toilet. What else were you doing?
Yeah.
Well, it seems confusing. Shut up.
Wiping your you-know-what with your jacket.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if you're wearing your coat right now.
Stop being rude. Stop it.
If you're only half paying attention.
Please read it again.
Were you trying to give yourself a blumpkin?
Yeah. What were you doing with free beer? Just read it. Where were your hands?
It sounded the same to me. Wait. I mean, I get it now after he said it, but he had to explain it to me.
Hot Wings, read it again.
Ken Griffey Jr. quietly walks over to Japanese-speaking translator Anthony Suzuki, standing behind the batting cage in Minnesota last weekend, nods towards Seattle Mariners rookie manager Don Wakamatsu and asks, just how much Japanese does he really know?
Who is he talking about?
Wakamatsu.
Because he goes to the translator.
Okay. And asks the translator how much Japanese.
Imagine that free beer is Wakamatsu. You're the translator. Yep. Mm-hmm. How much Japanese does he know anyway?
Nodding. Okay. Gotcha.
Nodding.
Let me ask you this. If Wakamatsu indeed spoke only Japanese, why would Ken Griffey Jr. ask the translator who translates Japanese to English how much Japanese he knows?
In my mind, I'm not going to answer that. In my mind, when I read the article, I supplanted various bits of information that he was asking the translator, how much English does he speak? That's what happened. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened. And I was too clouded by the hilarious impression in my mind that he runs to home plate to argue a call with this little nerd translator in tow. And I said, oh, okay, close the newspaper. I need no more material for joke bombs. Here we go. We got a bit.
Hold on, I've got breaking news.
Did you know that this manager of the Seattle Mariners is Japanese?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Did you know that the manager of the Seattle Mariners doesn't speak English?
I'm honored to have a history and to carry that on in a sense. My parents, my grandparents have a long history.
A long history in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, man. Now I'm a fan of that guy. I actually want the Mariners to win now because of that guy.
The Japanese guy?
The Japanese. He is definitely Japanese. This we do know. Half.
He's half Japanese.
He's half Japanese.
Yeah. He's as Japanese as I am German.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Oh, God.
Do you speak English?
Not as well as the manager of the Seattle Mariners.
This has been one of those hours.
Susan writes, Mariner manager better at English than Zane.
Yeah, Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that.
He learned it since Thursday.
Thank you, Susan. Glad you could get that out of your system.
In your defense, the words Japanese and English look almost exactly the same.
Unbelievable. How does this happen? Continually.
Brian's got your back. Hi, Brian.
Oh, of course he does. Hey, Brian.
Hey, for Zane's defense, if he speaks perfect English, why do they have a translator?
Because some of the players speak Japanese.
Like that guy,
Wait a minute.
famous.
What?
There are players on the team.
Like Ichiro.
Like Ichiro Suzuki. He speaks mostly maybe some broken English at this point.
So it wouldn't matter.
The team has a translator because a Japanese guy is on the team.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that doesn't stick.
Brian, I'm a little disappointed that you couldn't work that through on your own.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking the heat off me, Brian.
Only pretty much their most famous player over the last, 5-6 years.
I tried.
Yeah, that was bad, Brian.
Wait, one person speaks English. Why would they need someone to translate to another language?
I think what happened was I was clouded by Japanese manager and translator and just immediately thought that he needed a translator. That's all that happened. Though it clearly, damn it. If he
Were you about to say it clearly says what you said?
Well, no, it clearly says that he's not, that there is no issue whatsoever. If he had not been a Japanese American manager, I would have immediately just understood what the hell was going on. But that conversation would never have taken place in the first place. The conversation between Griffin and the translator would never have even have happened.
You didn't even jump to a conclusion. You screamed to one.
Oh,
because you came back in and said, did you know they hired
to believe
a Japanese manager, which makes it seem like they plucked a guy out of the Japanese professional leagues.
Yep. I 100% believe that. I spent the whole weekend thinking about this.
Now, in your defense, if you reordered most of the words in the article, you could turn it into that.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible.
Well,
to glean that.
That's pretty neat for you.
That's not really helpful in any way.
Back to real time. I was watching SportsCenter over the weekend and actually saw him go to the mound. Here comes manager Don Wakamatsu, and I went, oh. And then
no translator though.
No translator, and I so believed what you told me at the time that I went, oh, he knows he's going to get taken out of the game. Why else would the manager come out? That's why.
Sure, he's going to go out there, stick his hand out like, give me the ball, and go, Juntos!
I so believed you though that I perked up because I had SportsCenter on while I was working on stuff, and I heard them say, "Here comes manager Don Wakamatsu," and I went, "Oh, look at this!" Yeah. And I looked up and I don't see him. Forget it. Back to doing what I was doing. Hearing that played back, though, sort of made me think of a segment. I don't know if this would work or not, but what about a segment where we pick out 3 or 4 newspaper articles, give them to Zane. He has 1 minute to go through them as well as he can, and then we have Eric Zane's impromptu newscast, and he shares with us the pertinent info from each of the stories in newscast style.
Okay.
Because that's kind of how this went.
I love that. I love that.
Could all run together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll try it once. But you can't have any warning.
Just out of the blue.
Hot Wings, would you give him his newspaper articles, and then you would leave the room, and we'd make fun of you for a minute, and then you'd come back in, and we'd say, all right, give us the Eric Zane news update. Be very awkward.
The thing is, I could only have like a certain amount of time to look at each article, because that's how much time I put into the Don Wakamatsu article. 5 seconds.
Maybe you have 4 stories and 1 minute total for each, so you can divide it up. You can nail one newscast or one story and be really loose on the facts on the other 3, or you could try to spread the wealth a little bit. It's sort of like an intern view, except with you, and you work here.
I got a better idea. Instead of all that work, let's just call me names and stupid and say eat my boogers.
We'll just wait for it to happen the next time.
Basically the same thing is what you're doing there.
Similar. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. 97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative. It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Sunny to partly cloudy today, 66 the high. I don't know what it is now. 50? Something like that. Friday night, Cage Combat MMA at the Orbit Room. We had given away tickets last week. And when we got there, they had saved seats for us right next to the cage.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome. But it wouldn't have mattered where we were. I would have had a blast. Mm-hmm. But they had 15 fights in this, and it was, varying degrees. Everybody in there had some degree of training, Because, I mean, they were all trained MMA guys, and it wasn't like a tough man contest.
No. They come from different schools, and they'd, except for one guy, there was one dude in particular that stood out to me. Well, actually, he did have training, and he had a pretty good record, 7-3, going into this amateur fight. He was more than morbidly obese.
I think they said 400 pounds.
He was.
They did. I didn't know that. I didn't hear the record. I thought he was just some guy.
Isn't that what I heard?
7-3 and a black belt.
And
in some discipline of of martial arts.
Oh my
and
God,
he fought in a heavyweight division against a normal-sized heavyweight who was probably 225, I'm guessing.
Planted one shot right to his head, and the guy went down like a ton of bricks. This fat guy, this morbidly obese man,
if they had
crumpling to the ground, I was disgusted.
He couldn't even get up.
If they had been nude, it would have looked like the fight scene in Borat.
The guy was so damn fat, his ass crack went up to his neck.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
amazing.
It did go really high.
You go,
that same thing.
Yeah, if you wear regular pants and you can still see your butt crack, then you need to lose weight.
The crazy thing is, clearly that guy could beat us up.
Well, how?
No, he couldn't.
There's
He couldn't.
No way.
All we'd have to do is move, and he'd fall over.
There's no way I would lose to that guy.
That's what he did. The guy basically moved, and dude falls over.
Well, did you? The other guy's corner was right in front of us, and they were saying, "Stay away, stay away," because if he would have caught him, he would have been able to do some damage with his.
He just fats
he would have fallen on him. That's how he wins.
He just overcomes his victims with his stink from his folds.
Yeah. But he got caught right on the button and went down like a ton of bricks.
Oh, did he ever? It was so terrible.
Yeah. There were moments during it where I felt like I was watching YouTube videos live in person. Like the next fight might be a breakdancer against a toddler. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or that guy that looked like Dee Snider against two people. But it was fantastic. They had two ladies that fought. And they were both really interested in two things, fighting and food, mostly food.
Especially one of them.
But that was crazy.
Yeah.
And, boy, she took a beating. I wanted her to quit or the corner to throw in the white towel to signify a give up because she was getting beat up. She had a disadvantage reach-wise, and she was getting pounded in the face even in the first round.
It didn't matter, though. She was a complete mongrel to begin with. I mean, she was a disaster.
Yeah, she may have had some training, but it didn't seem like much more than about 5 minutes because she had no actual fighting style. It was like flailing cat fight.
It was more like it was like schoolyard kind of fight.
Yeah, it was just ugly.
And her face, it was instead of putting on makeup, it's like she took a pizza and rubbed it on her face. That's what it looked like. It was the worst.
But
then the one who won broke the one who lost nose so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she destroyed her nose. It changed shape, and there was blood everywhere. And then even though her nose was destroyed, the one who won kept punching the nose repeatedly.
Boy, did she.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it didn't go in and come out her nose, come out her mouth somehow.
It was rough. And there were lots of great fights. A lot of them were back and forth where someone would start out with a sincere advantage. Probably the best fight of the night. And I can't remember any of the names. It was difficult to hear the names because of where the speakers
where we were seated,
face out to the audience.
Talking about the tall, skinny guy who came out like a house of fire in the first round?
Crazy, bulgy eyes with tattoos all over him, and he was fighting a guy who was making his mixed martial arts debut, and the guy happened to be in the corner right in front of us, and before the fight, he turned around and he goes, "Hey, I like the show." And we're like, "Hey, you're in a fight. Pay attention."
Yeah.
And so the fight started, and of the two, the guy that was across the ring from us, further away, had the tattoos, and he looked crazy.
Yeah.
He looked like he was so intense, and he came out like a house of fire and landed some big punches. And I'm sitting next to Joe, and I said, that guy doesn't – the guy that had said, "Hey, I like your show," from Kalamazoo, and I apologize for not knowing your name. I said to Joe,
Call in.
He doesn't know where he's at. He's getting killed.
Yeah, he
He's
was.
getting killed.
It was pretty one-sided. I looked at the judges' scorecard from the one who was close to us. He scored a 10-8 at first round, which is pretty lopsided. He scored a 10-8.
We were amazed he made it through the first round, but right near the end of the first round, he landed a rear naked choke, which if you watch MMA, that's a put out. That you get that cinched in as far as he does, you win every time. And the only reason he didn't win then was because the round ended. So Crazy Psycho guy dominated 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the round, but got caught at the end. And so I know.
What's it called? A what?
Called a rear naked choke.
Okay, so
basically
that's where
it
the
looks
arm is way on, and you're
it looks
you're
like a
behind the guy.
sleeper.
Yeah, and this guy was just torquing on his neck.
Yeah, and if you get the one arm under the chin and then the other arm to cinch it in, and then they also will hook the legs around the torso to kind of control the person so they can't roll or do anything to get out of it.
Put you to sleep or that you stop.
Almost everybody taps out. And so this guy held out to the second round, and so Joe and I are talking, and we know everything about mixed martial arts because we watch The Ultimate Fighter.
Everything.
Coach. But no, we don't know
You
what
could
we're
do
doing.
it yourselves.
But we're talking, and we go, boy, he's still in trouble, man. But turns out, psycho guy, and he may not be psycho. He just looks psycho.
He was. You see it. There was one point. He had so much artwork on his back that I yelled out, "Hold still so I can read your back."
Yeah.
Too much.
He apparently gassed himself out, and dude that listened to us from Kalamazoo really dominated the rest of the fight. And at one point, the other guy was completely out of gas and down on all fours. And the guy that was closest to us was in a dominant position and kneed him in the ribs what seemed to be 100 times.
So
and every time that knee would slam down, the whole crowd would just
you go
crazy.
Really, if you said, all right, Freebeer, I will give you $1,000 if I can knee you in the ribs one time like that, I don't think I'd let you.
No.
And I like money. Money's my favorite besides food. But I don't think I could do it. So credit to all of them. But man, I had a great time.
It was a beating.
Yeah.
Listen, we've all experienced it now, so this is to the audience. The next time this event comes around, when we tell you you have to go, you have to go.
It's your duty.
Right.
Oh, my gosh, because at the Orbit Room especially, there's a lot of people on the floor that were looking up at the stage. I could see perfectly. But if you wanted to sit, you could have gone up into the balcony and looked down.
Yeah.
And then, obviously,
That'd
the
be
Orbit Room is
perfect.
not a big venue. It's big enough, but you would have seen it perfectly, and you could hear the connection, the big thud when somebody would catch one right on the button.
I always feel like such a puss when we go to stuff like this because I've never even been in a fight. And then in the main event, it was supposed to be the guy that won the main event, the final fight of the night, was 10-0, in great shape, clearly had trained a lot. You could tell just by the way he went about his business. And he was supposed to fight a guy who was 18-2. And so that would have been a pretty good matchup, both a lot of experience. Turns out the guy that was 18-2 for one reason or another couldn't make it. Pulled out of the fight at the last second, maybe injured, could be a variety of reasons. I have no idea what the reason is. So the guy that replaced him had about 3 hours notice, and they went and got him from work. Like they went and picked him up and said, all right, come fight. And he gets in the ring and fights this guy who's got 10 fights. That's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
He didn't win,
He
but
didn't have a chance,
He
but
didn't
still.
do terrible. Considering the experience factor.
No, it didn't do. He didn't do terrible. It was about 45 seconds worth of fighting, and some of the fights only last that long.
And some of the ones that only lasted 45 seconds were still tremendously entertaining.
Yeah.
How about, I think it was the second fight of the night. The fight went a round and I think they stopped it between rounds. But the one guy took like 4 or 5 big punches and knees to the left eye or to his right eye, and it swelled shut.
Like the first or second fight. Yeah,
Couldn't
right.
see.
Oh, yeah, his eye was so swollen. Man, it was just brutal.
It probably made the two of you want a 15-second fight again, didn't it?
No way.
It would make me want to fight even less if I had fought before.
Man.
Man.
No thanks.
Pretty awesome, man. And to those people that train
train
hard.
They did. That was a great time.
I'll be going the next time, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, big time, man.
I saw
Big
JT
time.
here. He's down off the roof of McDonald's, obviously. He came down late Friday.
Yeah, I sure would like to know about that. If I don't know if he's available.
Staff meeting right now.
He's in a staff meeting.
Managers meeting.
Oh, wait.
No.
All right, JT. Way to put a nice bow on it. Nice. We'd
he
love
probably
to hear about it.
He probably put a bow on it Friday.
Well, I know, but if you could get it on the air and maybe hit a different audience group.
Fill us in.
You blame him, even though we never mentioned him coming in here. Way to go, JT. Way to not care about your charity.
It was a little
so
rough.
unfair.
Who said it? It's not supposed?
It only counts as ending if you do it on our show,
Come on,
JT.
JT.
Stupid jerk.
Just stayed up there all weekend.
Did you know what happened?
No.
You didn't get the details because I didn't get them either.
No.
Did you get an email?
No.
Okay. Well, I rest my case.
We never get any details.
I rest my case.
JT is in
We're
next.
in the dark.
It's 97.9 GRD.